How are you? Are you well? Do you have a vision against crime?
We try our best.
Is it?
So
what do you do here?
Premier, this is their mobile command center.
Oh.
So they assist us a lot in especially hijackings, kidnappings. So we work closely together with the Hawks and Toms from DPCI, and they're always available to assist. They've got drones and everything. So yeah, we're working very close together with them.
Not a nightclub.
No, it's not a nightclub, Premier.
Okay.
No, it's a command center, so we can use this at roadblocks and everything. Yeah. Okay. So we just get into it, we drive off, and then and they're always available to assist 24/7. Only the drone technology is not here today because of the weather, but we've got the drone from.
Yeah. I thought
Nothing is an integrated command.
So this is the drone command center of Bidvest Protea Coin.
Okay.
There's the drone also.
Oh, okay. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you, sir.
Are you good? Yes,
sir.
Oh, that's
This
good.
is one of the experts of the drones, Premier.
Okay.
Can you just explain? He's a drone pilot, so can you just explain to the Premier, please?
Okay.
Oh, but also we should tell him that he was a driver, Premier, before he became a drone pilot.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, yes. Bit more background to just to summarize that. I started as a driver on the UDS company, and then I was sent to school to be a pilot. And then last year I got my certificate to be a drone pilot. Yes. So we have two types of drones.
Yeah.
This one is called, all of them it's multi-router.
Okay.
But as the size differs, this one is a Syrian which it flies for 45 minutes. It's an hourly drone. And then this one flies for 20 minutes. It's a Maverick.
Okay.
And then this one it can give you the range of 15 kilometers.
Oh, 15.
It depends with your line of sight.
Yeah.
And then this one can give you a less than 5 kilometers range.
Then both of them can fly at night.
You can fly at night. It uses a day camera and a night cameras. The night one is a thermal. That's what we use.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
These were tested Premier over Soweto.
Oh, okay.
For the first time when we had the drones.
Yeah.
Because UDS is working with us, Bidvest Protea Coin.
Oh, okay.
And it's helping a lot in terms of the Transnet pipeline. Remember, people are driving in the field with the tankers.
Yeah, the tankers,
Yeah, then they are able to can pick them up, and then they activate us on the ground with our patrol vehicles.
Okay.
Then we are able to close them down and have them arrested.
Okay.
So that's why I think last year in October we had that big success of picking up the kingpins. It was because of the drones that we had, the technology.
That's good.
The technology that we have. The same applies with our vans here, our van.
Yeah.
We have people that can operate from the van here and integrate all the information that is necessary. And we don't have to contact somebody far at the office. But from the van we can get the necessary intelligence that tells us who is the person that we are arresting.
Good.
So it's a very effective
It is. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure.
700.
Right. Oh, fellow fighter.
The fellow fighter.
Are you well, Doctor? I'm fine. No, that's good, man. Thanks for coming. Thank you.
So Premier, this is Bidvest Chopper. It assisted us a lot in special operations when we took down hijackers. Yeah. So they assisted us a lot, and they're always available to assist with the chopper.
Oh, okay.
So this is a two-seater.
It can fly to Tembisa.
Four-seater.
It can fly to Tembisa.
Yeah, I can fail to tell me. Is it
Where do you want to go from here?
So those are scripts. Can you describe what is happening?
While maybe the police might have one, each province has got one. We've got four. So
I just want to
Can you get there somebody to come and open here?
for us, it's a situation of a call. If they call us, within 5 minutes we're up in the air and to help the police.
Within 5 minutes?
Oh, sorry.
Just go in, Premier. Helicopter and
I want to take you to Tembisa.
Yes.
They want this.
Yes. Premier is sitting in a helicopter. This is how she'll be sitting and watching Gauteng. Yes.
But Premier, we're working very well with General Mawel.
Is it?
Yeah, he knows
So we are
that
assisting them when they need
we working
backup.
together. Yeah, yeah, we're assisting. It's just a matter of a call.
No, that's good.
It's
Where's
just
the
a matter
pilot?
of a call.
Must be showing Premier what's happening.
No. That's okay.
Come this side. Come this
Premier,
side.
what is happening inside there in your helicopter?
Yeah. Premier, he's coming.
No, that's
Yeah,
fine. That's
you
fine.
can
It's
see
fine.
inside.
It's fine.
Sit inside.
Bezakubonisa nje
Oh,
ukuthi kwenzakala la helicopter.
Yeah, this is
Is
the
this the handbrake?
controls. That's the other handbrake. This is our screen for our flow camera that we use at night. So there's a camera on the side of the aircraft here.
So I want to see why people are being and it's still flying the Premier. Yeah, we take them up in the sky.
And distance-wise?
On the camera or the aircraft?
The aircraft itself.
You can fly from here to about Pietermaritzburg.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so about 2.5, 3 hours. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Tembisa is just a short distance.
Easy, 5-10 minutes.
Oh, that's what you mean. Thanks. Yeah?
Sorry. So Premier, this is the command center, same as what Vision Tactical has. If you can just go inside, you see the monitors inside.
Oh, thank you so much.
Please use the rails.
I suspect I'm fine.
Very well, thank you. My name is Soti. Nice to meet you. I'm the driver.
So I can go anywhere?
I'll just quickly give you a breakdown on what's our radio systems can work anywhere. South Africa, even in overseas. So if you've got the app on the phone, you can communicate with the South Africa within South Africa via the app.
Where's the MEC?
MEC. Where's the MEC?
I'm buying this now from you. You'll build another one.
You'll have to phone Mr. Deval or speak to General Mpembe.
So Premier, what's very interesting about this particular unit is I'm also one of the pilots for our helicopter too.
Yeah. So this is the op center here.
We're buying this.
We're buying this, yes.
How you
This person is assisting us to.
No, we don't want it. Build their own one.
Yeah, no. Oh, you want us to buy them?
Yeah, they're taking it.
I'm taking over this car. So now you must go rebuild a new one.
What's interesting about this unit is it's a joint operation center, but everything that our helicopters can see, we can see on the ground here. We can also see weather. There's a camera that can be mounted onto this unit where we can see the distance behind us, and we can actually watch the operation. So we have the ability to control everything from this, as we said, a joint operations center. The cameras that we're running on our helicopter, the forward-looking infrared, for example, can detect a human being 11 kilometers away, and I can identify him from 7 kilometers away. So I can see that it's the Premier at 7 kilometers away. That particular camera that we've just installed onto one of our helicopters, and our fleet is growing. As I said, we've got about 12 helicopters and about 26 pilots available to us countrywide. But our capability to be able to respond is absolutely paramount. So we have the ability to respond and to manage an environment effectively, and to identify targets, etc., very effectively. The other thing, of course, is that we also have things like number plate recognition. That particular camera that runs on the new camera that we've just put onto one of our helicopters can even, if I target a particular building, for example, it will give me the address. I can then send that information down to the guys on the ground, and we can then relay their GPS coordinates. So if I target a suspect, for example, that suspect, as he's moving, it will give me my position, it will give me the suspect's position, and we can then relay that information live to the ground units. And that gives us the ability to apprehend a suspect very effectively, very quickly, and that's in all weather, day or not all weather conditions, but day or night. If the weather conditions are not good for us to fly, then we will obviously use drones or other ground units. But that is all controlled in this environment, and this environment then has multiple operators that can see what's actually going on live.
Another thing is, sorry, ma'am. This radio system here is also linked to my cell phone. So now I'm going to call the control room in the Western Cape to show you. Western Cape, Tango 3.
What are you doing in the Western Cape, not in Gauteng?
Copy that, thank you. Now, this is the radio system, like I said.
So it's across the country?
It's around the whole. I can speak to the Durban, because the radio systems are given to us by Halo Technology. So what we have is we've also got the E2 project that we also support. So we've got controllers in all the provincial operation command centers.
MOU.
What we'll do, Premier, because we are working on Tetra, which is where the SAPS line is, we can always have a dual system and we'll look at that. Yeah, no problem. We can look at our options that we have.
MOU.
In the response time? Response times is going to be dependent on active units and obviously weather, etc. But in terms of responding.
Can't hold.
The servers are here. So if there's an operation and there's a lot of people, we can still monitor from here. We just pull this out. Then we've got.
You might have similar thing in the city. Yeah.
We've got the inverters. We've got inverters, the batteries.
No, thank you so much. So it's another same thing?
Yeah, it's basically we've got generators as a backup. We use solar power, inverters for the batteries, so the operation can run 24/7.
Thank you. Generator and all of this.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah?
Thank you very much.
I love this. I love this. I love this. Yeah. No, I take my
Hey, what am I lying?
Now, what's that thing you have?
Yes.
Netcare was also invited because if we do special operations, there's always a Netcare vehicle with us if somebody gets injured. So that's why I invited them as well. And then we've got the they've also got choppers, but unfortunately due to the rain, and also last night one of the choppers was hit by the CIT suspects. So we were chasing the installed official and then we lost him there. But they also got, if you go in here, this is the AMPR system.
How are you?
He's a mom.
Can you just explain to the Premier?
You can pick it up and tell them. pick up number plates from other countries saying they're so poor because we've got the flow of those number plates that are now in our roads. Yeah. Oh, that's the Boma camera. Oh, you also use the Boma camera. Check. Yeah, how are you? Ready for action? Ever ready? For action?
This is the tactical team of Fidelity. They assist also with hijacking, CITs, illegal mining, everything. We all work close together with them, especially saturation. Is it? Yeah. Because it's our crime prevention unit in the department. Yeah. So yeah, we work very close together with all of them. Yeah. But they're always available. And if they need backup, they call us. Yeah. So it's dual partnership and it's a good thing.
Are these gun licensed?
They're all licensed. Yes. Legitimate following the National Firearms Act, 100% yes.
But they look powerful weapons.
More than welcome when you've got time to come and pay a visit our army as well.
Is it?
So we can arrange something, we can pay a visit for us there at our head offices.
But now, Premier, if they've got a lot of these nice guns and everything, why there's too much crime in it? And then also in my city.
Because government has done nothing before.
Okay. So we're actually going to be doing something now. Yeah.
That's why we're doing it.
The last one here is Blue Hawk. They have got the panic button technology. They've also got drones, and they assist in illegal mining, and also they will assist in hijacking, CITs, they'll assist all over. But they're big in the illegal mining, especially in the east. But they've got, they're going to demonstrate the panic button technology, so that's going to be inside.
Oh, it's inside?
Yeah. They will.
Is this what I used to call hippo?
Yeah.
Small hippo. The small hippo.
Well, now it's
Tebisa over.
Sorry.
Okay, you speak to control room.
We can, there's a siren and we can speak to our control room, and there's different channels. I don't think this one, yes, it must be on, there's different channels. There's no siren, there's a siren in my view. Okay. Is it on?
So I'm also in the kitchen. Also.
Can I take this?
if there's something there.
But Lena. Yeah. cell.
So Premier, this is what we have today, but there is also other security companies that also always assisting us in fighting crime in Gauteng.
No, that's right.
Okay, that's going back.
Later? Nebantwana benkosi. All right. Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. Sanbonani. Dumelang. Abshene. Kuyamore. How is everybody? Without any waste of time, let us start with our dialogue. May we all stand up and sing the national anthem. Do we have it on tape or are we singing? Because as Africans, we do sing, right? Everybody, as long as you're in South Africa, you're an African. Are we having a DVD or are we singing? We're singing. We all stand attention. It's only the police that salutes. Men, remove your hats. Women, stand attention. Attention. Attention by the sides. That's how you stand when you sing the national anthem. No moving up and down. Can those that are walking in please find your chairs? Yeah, stand where you are. Somebody close the door. We are praying. Go see, police, they salute. I saw JMPD, where's your capis? They're supposed to be saluting wearing your capis. I see those, can you bring those young people to come sit here? Come, young people, come sit here. They must not put you at the back. Come sit here, let's see you. Perfect. You're going to teach everyone to 7 to 7 to bye, teacher Abantwana. The flag ambassadors. Can you clap hands for our flag ambassadors? Without any waste of time, let me allow Ward Councillor Mulife Mohau to come and welcome us and tell us if Northwest is very safe for us today. We can take off our shoes, take off our, I nearly said trousers, take off our jackets, and take off, clap hands for the councillor, please.
Thank you very much to the program director, MPC for Public Safety, Faith Masabino, who happens to be the program director today. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, the leadership of the province. We have come here to all law enforcement agencies. We have come here to grace this occasion. Thank you very much again to the SGDs and the school management of North Kasef. Before I may go further with opening and welcoming, my name is Councillor Mohau Mulefe from Ward 30. Today I'm standing in for Councillor Brenda Dami, who is a councillor for Ward 29. He's supposed to be here with us today. Unfortunately, due to other unforeseen commitments, he's not with us today. So that is why I was requested and tasked to do the opening and welcoming. So we are very much happy as the Zone 10, beyond the issue of North Kasef, but we are just happy as Zone 10 to be having these visits by the province. I think we are lucky, program director. We are lucky, Zone 10 has been getting a lot of constant visits from the Premier's office. So we are very much happy and delighted with what we've seen today. All the technologically advanced innovations that are going to help us fight the cause of crime. We are very much happy with what we've seen when we did a walkabout. So we are happy and we are saying, let us continue and fight crime in our communities. Let us join hands and fight this spiraling scourge of crime. By so saying, I welcome you all, and I'm very much happy, and I hope that we are all going to have a beautiful session, and we are all going to learn a lot from what is going to be presented by all the relevant role players who are forming part of the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Councillor, for welcoming us this morning. Let me acknowledge MEC for eGov and COCTA, MEC Msil Kumalo, who's with us this morning. You never know, Zulus, they name children after wars. So you may find that Msil is fun. Let me acknowledge MMC from the city of Joburg. As you know, there's been some political changes. So we have MEC Dr. Mukuna Trakau, that is here with us this morning. Thank you very much. We have Major General Kumalo, who is the head of detectives here in the province. Major General, you can wave. Thank you very much. We also have got Councillors MMC Jasi from West Rand, Rand West is also here with us. We also have got brigadiers that have joined us. We also have got 4 former Major General Mpembe, who has joined us this morning, is part and parcel of the Bitverse coin security. You see, it shows that we are investing a lot in Lamapoisa. The mere fact that the private sector steals them, poaches them, it shows that we are indeed training. Let me acknowledge the acting DG of the province, Umdu Matroporo. Let me acknowledge the chairperson of the portfolio committee, Mbata. So, let me acknowledge the chairperson of the portfolio committee, Chairperson Dr. Bandile Masuku. Let me acknowledge the young people from North Kasa. Hola Bangani, hola! Yes, the flag bearers of the school. Let me acknowledge all the important people that have joined us this morning. JMPD, I'm told Bakona, Mfuleni, municipality, their chiefs are also here. Mukhale City are also here. Fidelity, Mati ESS, Texas, AfriBeat, Sanko are also here. NASCOP, meaning the National School Governing Bodies, Pulehotek, Rand West have acknowledged you, Intervention Unit, the National Community Safety, Prasa, you are also here. I can't pronounce this, INCSA, you are also here, you are acknowledged. EKS Trekking from China, the PCOs that are here, CPFs that are here led by Chairperson Masilela, Citibank Municipality, you acknowledge. The South African Police Service, we have acknowledged you. Gauteng Traffic, you are also here, we approach you. Tlokwa Facilitator, you are also here. I think it says Julie what or Julie Code. These people are writing here. In two drones, and two, I know it's Smith, but we'll see it. The City of Johannesburg, what committees that are here? Mzansi, Joburg Public Safety, Inner Jersey Safety Exco, EON. I usually see this name of this company. I thought it's a printing company. I have now to see this EON. ORA, PHT, TFA, you are all acknowledged here. TURA, Africa Desk, DCI Security and Forensic Specialist. DPCI, you acknowledge. I saw General Cardo. I'm not sure if I was seeing properly. Yes, there he is. General Cardo is the one responsible for the Hawks. So, if you want anything that needs the Hawks, don't hesitate. He's here, he's hawking all of you right now. Be careful. Bad Boys Security Company, you acknowledged. Riot Security Company, TYEI, GDE, I think they say it comes from GDE. All the City Power, you acknowledged. UDN from Tswane, I've acknowledged the MPDs, Ekuruleni, JMPD also, Memeza also acknowledged, SAYCF from Ekuruleni, Business Against Crime, Blue Hawk, Bitverse Vets, you are also, something that's in white. I don't know, maybe it came by mistake here. My papers. Let me acknowledge, if I haven't mentioned your company, you are acknowledged, and hopefully you will share with us who are you, so that then we acknowledge everyone, media companies that are with us here this morning. Today we have gathered here as part and parcel of showcasing how ready we are. You recall Premier has made fighting crime a priority for this provincial government. That is why we said, let's see all the important stakeholders that can assist us to fight crime in Gauteng. That's why we have extended invitation to all of you. And we are specifically saying Gauteng e-policy, accelerating the fight against crime, vandalism, corruption, and lawlessness using technology. Yes, we do acknowledge that we've got boots on the ground, like police, law enforcement, your MPDs, and Gauteng Traffic CPF and community patrollers. I did not acknowledge, you are also acknowledged. And even those that come from various communities. I know there's Orlando one, they call themselves OFM and Wanyatsotsi groups. All of you are acknowledged. We know that the dedication you are doing in assisting the police to fight crime is one of those priorities that as the provincial government, we have seen to it that you are an important stakeholder. That is why we decided, let's gather here today, because Premier will be presenting the State of the Province address on Monday. He wants to talk to communities of Gauteng and reassure them that through your partnerships, we believe we'll see lesser crime in Gauteng. I was very busy yesterday. I did not even check how are we looking like on crime statistics, Major General Kumalo. One thing I just picked up is that on GPD we have gone down. Remember, because of the many women that were recruited as brigades to ensure that they go house to house, talk to communities, and share with women that do not live in an abusive relationship. Funa on, leave this matambe sopo who's making you a punching bag. Find a better partner who loves you for who you are. We can't be having cases like Abu Flavio, who killed his better half, chop her into pieces, put them in a fridge, and then every day go dig a hole and hide some of it. We can't be. You know, you wonder, what is wrong with men? Why are you killing women? Men, you must do an introspection. What makes you? Same with women that are bullying men. That's part and that's why we call gender-based violence. Gender means men and women. It's not women abuse, but gender-based violence. So, what we are doing as Gauteng, what Premier will be announcing and pronouncing, it means all of us gathered here today. We need to make sure that we put shoulder to the wheel and ensure that we make our communities safe. You know what is puzzling MEC Kumalo? We've got more than 2,500 security companies here in Gauteng. But look at our house breakings, look at our business robberies, look at how many people get mugged walking in the streets. But mugging, it means the number CPF and your patrollers. You're also not protecting ourselves. We should be having lesser numbers of crime that is committed in Gauteng because we've got many of you who are in the security company, in the industry. So we hope that our engagement today, it will yield what we believe Gauteng should look like in the coming years. We can't be having drug lords living amongst us and nothing happens. We can't be having those that are responsible for the cash in transit living amongst us. We always say, myself and Minister Tele, that Isikebeu, meaning the criminals, live in our own households. Some of you are here and just to hear what it is that you are planning, so that you go and tell your boyfriend, hey, watch out, my boyfriend, they are coming for you. Or you are going to tell your girlfriend, say, watch out, may OC, they come for you. This is what this government is planning. There must not be a single place for a criminal. Criminals must go to Kuviki land, not here in Gauteng. They must leave Gauteng. And our slogan, we keep on saying, Wanyatsotsi. When we say Wanyatsotsi, repeat after me, Wanyatsotsi. Wanyatsotsi. Mlungus. You can't be fighting criminals without being harsh on them. Say, repeat after me. Wanyatsotsi. Yes. Pidan Futibelung. Wanyatsotsi. There you go. Next time you sit behind that throne or you sit in your security van, always these words must ring in your head. Wanyatsotsi. No place for tsotsi here in Gauteng. You know, I think we're putting it nice to say criminals. That's why they continue committing crime. They are tsotsis, and we must make no space for tsotsis here in Gauteng. Thank you very much for honoring us and availing yourselves. Just a small apology, Premier. Left somewhere. You remember on Monday we say we have the State of the Province address. So there are some documents that he needs to sign off. so that then everything complies with the law on Monday. But for now, let me invite the presentation on e-policing strategy by SAPS Major General Kuman. Oh, I forgot to acknowledge all the Z83 brigades that are here with us. Hola, ma Z83, hola. Yes, there's few of you. General.
Sanibonani. Ninjani. Siyaphila nathi. I just want to take this opportunity to greet the program director, the MSc. Also, I want to greet the Honorable Premier in his absentia. I want to greet the Honorable Premier in his absentia. I want to greet the MSc for Joburg, Babu Kumalo, and also the MMC, Babu Dr. Mkaina. Extended greeting also to our Major General who also want to greet all the councillors that are present today. I also want to greet the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, the HODs, the CPF chairpersons that are present, led by Ubabo Masilela, and all the law enforcement agencies that are present today. I also want to greet the private sector, all protocol observed. I just want to make a special apology, MSc, for my provincial commissioner, Lieutenant General Mawela, who is not present this morning. He's busy attending the meeting with the Minister of Police. I am attending on his behalf. I am Major General Kumalo. I am responsible for crime detection, Amafogesi, in this province. I am being accompanied by my team, Brigadier Joseph, who is the provincial head for policing, also the acting district commissioner for Johannesburg district, Brigadier Rapiti, if you can stand up. Also my Brigadier Ubega from Orlando, the station commander. MSc, he is also, besides being a station commander, is also an operational commander for this event. There are members that are deployed outside. MSc, I must say that we as the police, we remain committed in fighting crime in this province to assist our community outside. I've seen the display that was done outside MSc. I'm very happy, and I don't have a doubt that this will assist us to curb this crime. Like you indicated earlier on, GPV cases has gone down, but we still have other cases that are giving us problems, like for example, your business robberies, the house robberies, cash in transit, as well as the ATM bombing. You'll also find some crimes, MSc, that are happening within the community. I don't know what is wrong with our community these days. There's lots of assaults, GBH and assault common. People are fighting, I don't know for what, but there's a lot. But we are committed to make arrests, working together with our private sectors, and we will continue with our operations of Kaimulao every week, MSc. And I'm going to allow Brigadier Joseph to give a very brief presentation
with regards to e-policing as well as the successes that were achieved, MEC, if you give me permission for that. Thank you very much. Brigadier Joseph, you can come.
Thank you very much, MEC. The Premier in his absentia, MEC Mazibuku, MEC Kumalo, the HODs present, and our HOD Sisulu, the chairperson of our portfolio committee, Mr. Bandile Masuk, our CPF that is present in the House, led by Mr. TJ Masilela and the Gauteng Community Policing Board. Our generals that are present, it's Lieutenant General Mpembe, not Major General, and retired. And then our two generals that are here from DPCI, General Kadwa, and our DPC, General Kumalo, all the MMCs that are present, all the councillors that are present, the leaders, the leaders of our partners of the E2, led by Mr. Johan Kruger, and all of those leaders of that industry that are here today. We really appreciate your presence. Thank you very, very much. And it's indeed good for us to showcase our partnership and your capabilities together with ours today. Thank you. I think all the protocol is observed. This is just a presentation, a short presentation on the e-policing. As we know, the e-policing was introduced a couple of years back. However, it's very, very staggered and very, very slow. Thus, the National Police Leadership called upon a specific company in partnership with the European Union that had a study on e-policing within the South African Police Services at the moment, exactly where we are and where we want to go to align ourselves with the Fourth Industrial Revolution. That's just the table of contents. We'll skip that. The introduction and background. Technological developments have changed the way people live, undertake their daily work, and relate to each other, and has a major impact on how decisions are made. The Presidential Commission report on the Fourth Industrial Revolution was available to the public in October 2020. The Commission's recommendations included invest in human capital development, establish an artificial intelligence institute, establish a platform for advanced manufacturing and new materials, secure and avail data to enable innovation, provide incentives for further industries, platforms and applications for the fourth industrial technologies, build a 4IR infrastructure, review and amend or create policy and legislation, and establish a 4IR strategy implementation coordination council in the presidency. This has been done. Just to look at e-policing and what it is defined as, e-policing or electronic policing can be defined as the use of information communication technology, ICT, in police work to improve effectiveness and efficiency, support frontline officers, and assist in local problem-solving initiatives resulting in reduced crime incidents and ease the transaction of services and information between the police and the citizens via the internet. Technology is used to support policing in several ways. Such a database characteristics of the local policing environment, crime profiles, and police performance to provide increased intelligence, especially when it comes to public security through virtual policing. If we look at the study that was done and the people that were appointed there, this study was done and led by a senior expert within this field, that's Professor Basi van Solms, and it was between the South African Police Services, the European Union, and it was hosted by the University of Johannesburg. The professor's team was Dr. Yaku de Toy and Mr. Tevin Moodley, and this was the final. Yeah, no, it doesn't want to go through. It doesn't want to go to presentation there. Thanks. Thank you. No, it's right. Yeah, it's the day the report was given. The final presentation on this report was done on the 30th of November 2022, which was last year, And then on the report, they just look at what we have and look for platforms for us to move forward. And then to obviously at the end of the day, just to ensure that we prioritize this and find some low-hanging fruits for us to move forward and implement as far as we can. The background and the contents of that was the main purpose of this project was to create a fourth industrial revolution technology roadmap for the SAPS, concentrating on 3 areas. The first one was the operational policing environment, which is also known as the Bobby on the beat, that scenario, and how that will be supported. The police investigative environment, including cyber security, which we use then within the cybercrime investigations. The technology infrastructure and support services environment, that is our TMS. This presentation then deals with the introduction of the fourth industrial revolution technologies and the projects and outcomes. The 4IR smart technologies are at the heart of the 4IR movement. There are large numbers of such smart technologies, which is then abbreviated as STs further on in the presentation, and they're already in existence. Many more will be developed in years to come. Such smart technologies are software systems and applications developed to perform a specific task. For example, capturing and interpreting a vehicle number plate. We all know about the automated vehicle number plate recognition system, something like that. For example, capturing and recognizing human faces, the facial recognition systems, and how this could be implemented. In this report, we represent smart technologies with yellow triangles. That is what is in place at the moment. If we can look at it there, then and that is available as presented on the screen in the yellow triangles, and the report focused on this and then analyzed the availability of it. The introduction of hardware platforms, which are then abbreviated as HWPs, 4 IR hardware platforms were then looked at. For such smart technologies to be used, the technologies must be installed and implemented on some hardware platforms or devices to allow the specific smart technology to be used in an easy way. In this report, they will call them hardware platforms. Example, a drone is a hardware platform which can host video and photo capturing on smart technologies and possibly also infrared smart technology. Without the software smart technology loaded on the drone, it is nothing more than an expensive doorstop. So you could have a drone, but if there's no way that we are following up on it and recording what we take and taking that data and utilizing, it is useless at the end of the day. And there we see the different hardware platforms that are available, and they were also analyzed within the report. If we look there at the hardware platforms that can cater for more than one smart technology, the first one is the most popular one, and I'm sure that 98% of the people that are here today have it. It's a smartphone. And then the second hardware platform, which is the most important and also in use, is your fingerprint reader. Having defined smart technologies and hardware platforms, we can also explain our approach. Identify as many as possible relevant smart technologies. Identify the hardware platforms needed to deliver these smart technologies. The identified list of smart technologies and hardware platforms can be called the working list. Create a mapping to determine the hardware platform which can deliver the most smart technologies from the same platform. So the study continues like that, and then the lists come out. And then on the working list, we look at smart technologies. What is basically in use and what has been analyzed within the report is the automatic license plate, the license plate recognition, applications on smart devices, speech recognition, video and photo capture, broadband access and feedback, star chase, fingerprint recognition, facial recognition, thermal imaging, push to talk, which is the PTT, and the AI. And then your hardware platforms, the first one would be a smart vehicle. And if we look at the smart vehicles that are available at the moment, then we can see exactly the expense and the amount of training and that it is needed for them to work. And then obviously the smartphones, like we say, we are all conversant with that. And on the smartphones, if we load the right programs, they can also be beneficial and immediately help us with policing. Smart police office, body cameras, dash cameras, drones, and then at the end as well, smart glasses. These graphs just show us exactly what is available on the specific one. For example, if we just take one there, if we take on the smartphone, you can put you can liaise with and make sure that you tap into the automated license plate recognition application to smart devices. It can also be utilized for speech recognition, video and photo capture, broadband access and feedback, star chase, fingerprint recognition, facial recognition, thermal imaging, and push-to-talk, which is all available on just a smartphone. But there it's broken down. Some of the specific ones, like for example, a dash camera only had 4, which it could be utilized for. From the mapping, it is clear that 4 hardware platforms, which can potentially cater for the hosting of the most technologies is in 6 or more are the smartphones, the smart vehicle, the body cameras, and the drones. Criteria for selecting the optimal hardware platform solution in the limited list. The first thing would be the cost, which is obviously a driving factor in everything else. The incremental rollout, the adaptability functionality of this multi-purpose, the ease and use of minimum training, the time window for the rollout. It must be possible to roll out the hardware platform as fast as possible. The outcome for the operational policing environment. From the table, it seems clear that according to the evaluation, the lowest hanging fruit as far as the hardware platforms are in the mentioned order as follows. The first one will be a smartphone. It's available to everybody. We can utilize it. We must make sure that we utilize it in policing and that we have the correct legislation and everything else, the correct databases available to utilize these phones and download what we are able to capture on the phones. And the second will be body cameras and drones. In the investigative environment, the same research was done. They looked at a smart vehicle, a smartphone, a desktop, laptop computers, specialized equipment, and then the drones. And if we see, once again, in the investigating environment as well, for what they used, which is a unified search, criminal or persons of interest detection, digitization of interview sessions, crime scene mapping tools, rapid DNA mapping, phone number obstruction, digital forensic evidence collection. We can see once again the smartphone, and with its adaptability, is the highest at the moment and offers the most functions. The 3 identified hardware platforms, smartphones, body cameras, and drones, were then unpacked as far as infrastructural and support environments are concerned. The body cameras and drones video capability needs massive amounts of data storage. Many police agencies over the world have cancelled their body camera projects because of the massive costs of data and storage. Then they have some proposals. The first proposal will be, because of the lack of knowledge and insight into the SAPS's policies and procedures, it is very difficult, if not impossible, to make specific proposals. As stated before, the whole project is seen as a proposal on how to initiate the SAPS's entrance into the 4th Industrial Revolution environment. Nevertheless, the following is proposed as far as the project and report is concerned. The first one will be to circulate the report amongst the top management of the SAPS, specifically within the SAPS 4 IR task team for comments. This was taken to the Board of Commissioners in January, and the final report was only received on the 30th of November. So we will wait on the outcomes from that and see exactly what funds will be made available and exactly which teams are tasked to then implement this as soon as possible. Proposal number 2 from the comments: get a clear indication of any of the suggested 3 hardware platforms should be investigated further. And then proposal number 3, if there's support for one or more of the hardware platforms, assign a specialized knowledge body to further investigate the supported options. Such further investigations can include legal problems, cost problems, privacy problems, rollout problems. The TMS, which is our technology management unit within the police, the TMS Technology Center of Excellence under Brigadier Ben Gous, seems to be a very good candidate for such a deeper investigation, and they are at present investigating further, and that is especially for the utilization of the drones, the legal aspects around it, as well as the purchase of the correct ones for the correct environments. And then proposal number 4, prepare a draft request for interest RFI, and eventually a request for proposals to be sent out to the industry. And proposal number 5, evaluate the reactions and make a final decision. Our current technologies just further go on, if we look at it, what is available at the moment and being fully utilized within law enforcement and the South African Police Services. The first one is My SAPS app. The second one is the automated number plate recognition, automated vehicle location, which is the AVL, SAPS emergency response services at the 10111 and all the technology that goes with that, automated ballistic identification system, which is the ABIS, that will then link a firearm to a specific crime on a specific date and to a specific person in whose name it was licensed or whatever else it will be. Integration person management, IPM, National Forensic DNA Database, which is the NFDD, the Crime Administration, which is the CAS, which is basically our database of all crime that has taken place in the country and the records on that. Automated fingerprint identification systems, which is the AFIS, which is utilized for us to then obviously record your criminal records and everything else around that. And then our operational command centers and the technology that is involved in that. In conclusion, MEC, I would just like to say the 4IR will happen irrespective of whether the SAPS and other law enforcement will or will not participate in it. The SAPS has made notable strides in the modernization of policing by means of technology. However, more work needs to be done in the continuous process to modernize the SAPS. The SAPS has to enhance existing technologies from the third industrial revolution and then begin our journey into the fourth industrial revolution. The partnership approach with other government departments, such as the RJS program, and with the private sector, will spearhead the SAPS into the fourth industrial revolution. And that we can see through the E2 project itself and exactly how far we're going with that. This will require a mindset change to embrace change from management and frontline members. A comprehensive investment in the third industrial revolution and fourth industrial revolution must be made for the SAPS to progress in serving the public. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brigadier Josephs, for the presentation, and I'm sure most of us have kwenzenjani manje senibahluphelana abantwana bashintsha ama-seat banganifunela ezinye iy'tulo vele shoda abantwana abangaka bangenayitulo 6. Can somebody get us 6 chairs, please? 6 chairs. Laba kuhlezi bani? Okay, 6 chairs. Just get us 6 chairs. Bazositholela iy'tulo eziyi-6. Naseklasini nihambe noboleka iy'tulo. I'm sure that you also picked up the challenges that SAPS have. It's highly regulated. They themselves, they set up these laws, but they themselves can't meet some of this. Yeah, nina ngokwenu usho njalo Joseph la presentation yakho. Nina ngokwenu you put up these laws, but sometimes through the bureaucracy that exists within government, we can't be able to fulfill or be able to meet some of those requirements. I'll now invite pardon me, Mr. Fortain, is it a Mr. or a Miss, to come and present on the Metro Police Department e-policing here in the city of Johannesburg. Let's clap our hands and show some love. Yes, come load the presentation. Is it you? Yeah, just load the JMPD one.
This one.
Good morning, everybody. To the Premier in his absentia, to the MECs that are present, our own MMC of Public Safety in the City of Johannesburg, to the HODs present within the Gauteng Provincial Government, the leadership of the Provincial Government, to all the senior members of law enforcement that are present here, and to our private people that are present here as well. Good morning to everybody. My name is Aldred Fortain. I am the Acting Director of the Command Center in Public Safety in the City of Johannesburg. So, MEC, let me tender my apology for my acting chief of police. She had previous engagements, as well as my head of department, Mr. Debogo Mudiba. They had previous engagements. Okay, as I said, my name is Eldred Fortuin, and I'm here to do the e-policing status in the city of Johannesburg. I represent public safety in our command center, and the JMPD is one of our clients. I will be very brief. It is a very brief presentation. My table of contents are only the current status, the electronic technology that we are utilizing within the city, and then the strategic direction of the department or future plans. So one of the current implemented programs within the city of Johannesburg is the EBAT system, and you would have heard the South African Police Service speaking about that. That is the evidentiary breath alcohol testing system. So currently the technology that is utilized within the city, we have 3 EBAT centers. Those are within Soweto, Joburg CBD, and Sandton Marlborough. We also have 3 mobile evidential centers that is utilized at our roadblocks. So the impact of this is that the system is utilized to secure samples of drunken driving cases in preparation for prosecution. The second program that we have is the smart roadblocks within the city. And you might have heard the previous mayor talking about the smart roadblocks. So basically we have 3, the technology that we're utilizing in that respect, we have 3 mobile automatic number plate recognition, or called ANPR systems, that is deployed at roadblocks. They are mainly kept at Soweto, Joburg CBD, and Sandton Marlborough as well, for strategic reasons. But they are deployed within the city of Johannesburg on a daily basis. So the impact of this system is that the system is linked to our internal back office, with the result that ARTO and other infringements are recognized. So if you, and when you stopped at a roadblock and they advise you, or the Metro Police advises you, that you have outstanding infringements, that is the system that recognizes that. The second impact to this is that we are linked to a joint information system, or JIS, via the South African Police Service, of circulated cases, and vehicles are then linked to either crimes, stolen motor vehicles, cloned vehicles, false number plates that are recognized, and I must state that has been reported and has been circulated. And these include foreign number plates, but I'm specifically referring to the foreign number plates that have been reported, and a case has been opened on that. And lastly, it is linked to our NATIS system. So unregistered and unlicensed vehicles are also flagged at these smart roadblocks, and with many successes though. The third implemented program within the city of Johannesburg is the CCTV reaction unit. So we have a dedicated CCTV reaction unit that responds primarily to incidents that are viewed within our CCTV footprint, which currently we are standing at 574 cameras within the city. It is used to conduct surveillance of incidents and is categorized as follows. So we categorize it internally under crime incidents, road and traffic incidents, emergency services incidents, and then service delivery incidents. So the dedicated unit, as I said, is dispatched for incidents that are related to crime. Other incidents are redirected to the relevant department for further action. We have EMS in-house within our command center as well. So obviously the emergency services incidents are transferred to them. This is just to indicate the type of the incidents that the 574 cameras has picked up for the financial year July 2021 to June 2022. That is the last financial year. Ours work a bit different than the South African Police Service. So the incidents detected overall was 4,783 for the financial year. We responded to 3,000, well, we responded to all of them, but I need to explain the difference between response and no response. So the incidents that had yielded results of 3,489. The no responses when our members get on scene, and either the complainant is not there anymore of the incident that was seen, or they do not wish to open a case, etc. And those are 3,489 and 1,318 respectively. I wish to get to the second phase of my presentation, and this is the last slide. So these are the key focus areas or the future plans of public safety. We have just had a change in administration, and we have been directed in no uncertain terms that we will follow the new direction, and we are on board with that and support that as well. So firstly is the expansion, or the first phase of it is the expansion of the CCTV surveillance network across the city. So our key focus outcome on that would be the improvement of the platform within the CCTV control room, resulting thus in the integration or onboarding of CCTV feeds with stakeholders and role players, and then also introduce analytics onto the platform. We're currently busy with an internal procurement process to that effect. Joined to that is the continuous assessment of crime hotspot areas in conjunction with the South African Police Service. So currently we have about 100 crime hotspot areas that we have identified as urgent, and this was done in conjunction with the SAPS, the local SAPS within the city, and our own incidences as well that was identified. The second key focus area for the city of Johannesburg is the use of drones, and that has been extensively been discussed by the SAPS, the use of body-worn cameras and dash cams. So on this, we are currently in a process of conceptualizing and formulating sound business cases for the use of drones, body-worn cameras, and vehicle dash cams. And as mentioned previously by the Brigadier, the issue of drones becomes, and body-worn cameras becomes an expensive exercise, and also there's a lot of red tape around this with the Civil Aviation Authority as far as drones is concerned. The use of e-ticketing and e-accident recording linked to GPS, this is currently in the process of being piloted within the city of Johannesburg, and especially the Johannesburg Metro Police Department. This is intended to reduce errors, of course, and increase positive prosecutions of transgressions that take place. The last phase, and I'm basically ending my presentation now, the last phase, is to forge strategic partnerships. And to this effect, we are accelerating partnerships and MOUs with stakeholders, and then also with external role players. And in fact, the command center has a meeting on Tuesday to discuss a possible partnership and MOU with one of the role players out there that has extensive footprint as far as CCTV cameras is concerned within the city of Johannesburg. The last is the sound governance and management of CCTVs. Now, the Public Safety Department is currently busy with a bylaw. The bylaw on CCTVs has been drafted, and it should in the next month or two come out for public participation. And this is just to regulate how CCTV cameras are utilized in public spaces. Ma'am, Program Director, I thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fortain, for the presentation. But you did not mention that your cameras are not working in the city center. Yes, they are just decorating the poles if you get mugged now in the city center, it takes them, in fact, no police will ever show up. If Brigadier Premier was here, I will even share with you that one day, there are these syndicates that steal mirrors. You know, if you park a car, they remove your mirror. One day in Commissioner Street, they decided to hit the whole street. Everyone was crying foul that my mirror is missing. And I called the chief, the acting chief by then, MMC, was Kanyele. I said, Kanyele, I see there are cameras here. Can your cameras assist us to check who stole all these mirrors? He was honest to say, hi, MEC, you want to clean this? I won't be able to help you. I said, Kanjani wana Kanyele? He says, unfortunately, they're not working. They're just decorating the city center. So MMC and Mr. Fortain, one of your tasks is to sort out those cameras in town. Sort out those cameras in town. Most of the time, people are being mugged in the city center. Broad daylight. Amatotai 5 or 10. They grab one person, one will remove this, the other one this. Even women, they are weaves. When you go to town, don't wear your weave. It will be gone. You must put a spot like me, then they won't touch you. Weave, gone. Apparently they go and sell them. They mug people, MMC. When you get off the Gauteng, because Uber drivers can't pick up in front of the Gauteng, which is something that you must sort out with the meter taxi people. You are forced to then request standing on the other side of Park Station on De Villiers, because Ubers can't pick up in front of Gauteng. Now, as you are waiting for your Uber there, these criminals that are loitering there, they are the ones that then mark people. So, you need to sort out the CCTV. And don't put in these cheap ones that show black and white. Put in this face recognition. Technology is advancing. Face recognition. You must be able to assist the police and the JMPD to recognize the face of this person who is committing crime, including those that are doing smash and grab in the city center. When you drive in town nowadays, you must make sure your phone is not visible. You must hide your phone. Otherwise, they break the window just to grab your phone. As we are busy, in his bag like these things so that it is the hands of kids. As you have put your phone there as part of the hands of kids, your phone is gone, babumpembe. They hit your window and grab that phone. We'll now invite Mr. Kruger, representing the E2 project. He's from Business Against Crime, Representative Brigadier. Oh, you are a Brigadier. I said, Mr. My apology. Yes. Presentation, Hosaba. Whilst they are sorting out, lost and found of a phone, anyone who's missing a phone, touch base with me.
Good morning, everybody. MEC, thanks for the opportunity to be here representing Business Against Crime South Africa, and I must indicate it's happily retired Brigadier Johan Kruger, and now with Business Against Crime South Africa. And ma'am, to indicate in terms of Business Against Crime, we are an official coordinated joint crime fighting initiative between the South African Police Service as well as then Business Against Crime, where we originally focused only on security companies that is then within the private security industry, which is then registered as E2 service providers. And I must welcome, I see there's quite a lot of our partners here from the security industry, and it's really appreciated. But lately we have also then had the mandate then to extend our invitation to then include non-private security industry role players, and I will elaborate further on that in terms of this introduction presentation. Ma'am, as I indicated, Business Against Crime, we established in 1996 in response of the then request President Nelson Mandela for business to start getting involved in terms of the fight against crime. Now, Business Against Crime is a division of business leadership, and it's then funded by business leadership members. There's two distinct roles in terms of that we are looking at in terms of Business Against Crime. Firstly, starting off then with looking within business itself in terms of getting its own house in order, so that business, when approaching government, that our own house is in order, then we are dealing with. Then obviously looking in terms of partnership with government, inviting, sharing our expertise, the expertise that is out, that is available within the security industry and within our partners, information sharing, and then also the use of technology that is resided within businesses. MEC focusing then looking at our, what is governing our structure. You will see there we have an executive committee which is then forming part of MOU that was signed between Business Against Crime as well as the South African National Commissioner, which is then giving us the mandate to then assist the police in terms of this. Then there's the executive committee that is established in terms of meeting, where we then meet with the National Commissioner on a quarterly basis. We also have then meetings within the different provinces. There we will see there's sub-steering committees where we deal with specifically in terms of the E2. We also have a committee that is dealing with extortion. We're also dealing with the NPA, National Prosecuting Authority, where we are currently busy in assisting them, as well as then the infrastructure that is affected. And those are all committees that is established where Business Against Crime is part of it. Then there's also looking at each of the provinces. As we have then this MOU with the National Police, then we also have a steering committee that is then in all 9 of the provinces, where we do have a footprint, and then within the POCC of the different provinces in all 9 of them. We are currently busy in terms of our project to roll out to a district level in terms of, there's 52 districts at a national level where we want to then send our footprint down to district level, but with national SAPs, we have then identified 3 districts, which is then the Waterberg in Limpopo, Buffalo City in Eastern Cape, as then Underberg in the KwaZulu-Natal area, in terms of then extending our footprint and our deployment then down to district levels. Let me see, I'm going to have a quick slideshow. I'm just going to check if the sound quality is acceptable in terms of what the E2 is about.
With the Eyes and Ears initiative now in 8 of our 9 provinces, E2 is even more determined to ensuring South African businesses, With the Eyes and Ears initiative now in 8 of our 9 provinces, E2 is even more determined to ensuring South African businesses, metropoles and communities are safer and protected. Through the E2 initiative, private security companies relay critical crime-fighting information to the SAP's provincial command centers where E2 personnel are stationed. This enables us to give SAPs an edge over criminals by extending more eyes and ears on the ground, thereby allowing for criminal activities to be attended to or circumvented faster. The E2 initiative is a joint venture between Business Against Crime South Africa, a division within BLSA, the South African Police Services, and willing private security companies. Hashtag Eyes and Ears SA, hashtag Together We Serve SA.
Appreciate, thanks. And I think that video sums up in terms of what Business Against Crime, in terms of the E2, and I want to indicate, as in the video was referring to 8 provinces, we are now active in all 9 provinces, having a national footprint. In terms of the requirements for the E2, I just want to indicate in terms of the private security, there's certain, and I know there are partners that is here is complying in terms of this, the CIPC registration, CIRA registration, certificate, CIRA letter of good standing, signed E2 operational procedures, the SOP, and full personal details of the companies. And MEC, all the companies that is then participating and part of the E2 are being screened by national SAPs, and then only once they are approved, then they get loaded onto the systems and then being part of our communication system, our radio systems, which I will elaborate further in the presentation on. As I indicated then, we have extended our authority or mandate then in terms of the role players, where we are currently then in conjunction with the National Police, then looking at the terms of reference then for including other role players then into the E2 process, which is then currently what we are looking at is then a form of registration, articles of incorporation of that organization of state, the documents for that specific. It can either be a rural safety or a CPF for that matter, particulars of the main office bearer, and then also a SOP. So we are still in the process of finalizing then the inclusion of other security role players, which is not necessarily forming part of your security industry or your CIRA requirements, but looking at your CPF patrollers and going down to that level in terms of the involvement into the E2. The eyes and ears, the purpose of the eyes and ears, again, is the use of private security as well as then non-private security in terms of looking at the geographical footprint, and then all sources of information as well as situation awareness that can be then immediately handed over or made provided then to the South African Police Service to enhance operational response to crime, with specific emphasis on crime heavily dependent on situational information. Again, then the source of information, the geographical footprint, the use of technology, the improved situation awareness for SAPS, and enhanced operational response in terms of incidents that have occurred. Let me see, in terms of looking at this, and I want to go through it through stages, you will see there in terms of the ANPR cameras on top, that is then, and currently business against crime, then with our partners, we're having access to 6,500 cameras, that is then in terms of Gauteng, that is CCTV cameras, overview cameras, then looking in the vicinity of 7,000 ANPR cameras at a national level, that is then for the whole country in terms of ANPR. But all these cameras is coming through on a system where we, let's say, feed on demand. We are getting positive hits as the vehicle is then picked up by a camera. That is then at a national level. And that information, as was agreed with the MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding with SAPS, we now have a person sitting in the POCC, the Provincial Operational Command Center, in all 9 provinces, 24/7, and that person is then representing business against crime. So as we are getting information from the ANPR, the cameras, that information is then directly given to the POCC. We also, within the last 2-3 weeks, we have also now got a representative within the 10.1 in Gauteng to even fast-track the attendance, that is more specifically then dealing at your priority crimes, your CITs, your house burglary, robberies, so that we can then have a quicker response then involving also the 10.1 in Midrand. Then we're also indicating that once we have got that person that is sitting within the Provincial Operational Command Center, that person is then also in contact with via radio. We're having the push-to-talk radio system, where Brigadier Joseph was also referring to in terms of the technology. So that radio will allow anywhere in the country that you can talk to. I can, for instance, talk to my controller in the East London POCC if it's necessary in terms of the push-to-talk. So we're having a broad coverage in terms of the radio system. Then we also use telegram system, where the minute that the vehicle is then, let's say for instance, positively identified by the cameras, the heat will go through onto to a telegram group and then to our control room. We can also isolate or circle specific cameras. That is, for instance, if you take a specific station precinct or a ward, we're having, for instance, let's say Mondior, there's 10 cameras, we can circle fence those cameras and send it to a specific individual or specific groups where that, let's say for instance, to the station commander of Mondior to get the specific hits for that specific cameras within their station precinct. Then there's also the dedicated, we have the groups in terms of the E2, the control room, that is then sharing this information, and that is then allowing the POCC then to immediately send out reaction or reaction abilities to these hits. But what is then added onto this is then the security industry. As you see there, with the big footprint in terms of the security industry, that is then at a national level, which is then, and including all shopping centers, all estates, buildings, banks, and even government buildings. We can see that within our own local government buildings, your hospitals, your home affairs offices, all of them are done by security companies. So the purpose of the Business Against Crime, the E2, is to get all of those onto one platform, one communication channel that is then the push-to-talk, the telegram system, and that is all currently being done where we have in the vicinity of 200 security companies in Gauteng that is then part of the E2 structure. And then you will see there the safety strategy in terms of the partners, where we're now extending our mandate then to involve then, let's say, farm watchers, CPFs, patrollers, communities, in terms of our mandate to involve for all security. But the purpose of this is, that we put the information out there so that everybody that is involved within the security industry get it. We have had huge successes in terms of if a vehicle is stolen, the security industry refers it to as a bolo, be on the lookout for, where they will then distribute it. Now, if a vehicle is stolen and it's circulated and given through to, let's say, on the SAPS police channels, there might be 50 vehicles that is receiving the lookout for the vehicle. Now, if it is given through to 500 security officers that is on duty, so it's increasing, and there's a lot of successes in terms of the successes in terms of the recovering of vehicles, and then also focusing then on wanted vehicles as well as our priorities, digital robberies and CITs. My next slide is just indicating the operational deployment in terms of the information flow. Remember, I said that we also have in the NOCC, that's the National Operational Command Center, we also have an E2 representative sitting there, and that structure, depending on the role players, the same as with at the provincial level, becomes the prof joints. So we have a representative there. That information is then ensured that it is sent to all the POCCs, and specifically, if you look at national challenges that we had in the past, last year with KwaZulu-Natal as well as Gauteng with the looting, we have fantastic information where security personnel, again the security person sitting at the shopping center, was now speaking to business or to E2 saying there's a group attacking my shopping center. And that information was relayed directly to the relevant POCC as well as to the NOCC at national level, where the NOCC were then in a position to request the province to say, we are receiving this and this report, what is happening in your specific province. That is then in terms of the POCCs. Then you see this where we have, within it's more than a year back, we have then also established a Baksa monitoring center, which is then in Sandton. And that monitoring center is also running 24/7, and then obviously having radio communication to all of these provinces where they have, and we also then work on an electronic or a smart OB system. Whatever is captured and whatever is coming through from a security guard, for instance, on the ground, then going on to the Telegram group, going to the POCC, that it's a fully tracked circle so that you need to get feedback. And that is all done then in terms of where the monitoring center, the National Monitoring Center, is then overseeing all the information that is coming in from the member on the ground. Then we also, you will see there on your left-hand side, the business sector that is coming in, where we having a lot of assistance then from the businesses, specifically dealing with unrest. We will get early warnings in terms of unrest, share it with the NOCC, share it with the POCC as early warnings in terms of also looking at robberies, illicit trade, extortion. We have a huge, let's say, part of our attention that we are dealing with is in terms of extortions. We are part of the national and the provincial priority committees in terms of extortion. We have on our webpage a site where companies can report extortion, where we then elevate that information then to the law enforcement, ensuring that the type of cases that is open, that's specifically just dealing with extortion. Then you will see the monitoring center on your right-hand side, referring to internet, WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter. So we are monitoring all those platforms in terms of gaining information and sharing it with law enforcement. Then there's also a small one indicating at the bottom, referring to police stations. What we managed to do, MEC, we were getting in the vicinity of, let's say, 500 to 1,000 positive vehicles that was heating cameras at a national level that was stolen. So what we managed to then with the police, we are sending out emails as the vehicle is then picked up by the camera. That specific police station where the case number is receiving an email. So we had a lot of successes in terms of that, where vehicles has been cancelled on circulation system, vehicles that law enforcement, because once you get a hit of a vehicle, you can determine a pattern. So it's very easy to recover that vehicle once you have. So in terms of the email sent to police stations, in terms of each and every vehicle that is hitting the camera, if a vehicle is going past the camera 20 times a day, that station will get 20 emails in terms of that. Then the last one that we added here was, as I indicated, was then looking at the districts that we are extending our mandate to include then at district level as well as then going down to station level eventually. The E2 operational deployment, this is then also looking at the rural safety but not limited to it. And again, as I indicated, there's then a steering committee that is established, the involvement of the private security, as well as then the involvement of other role players, specifically your CPF, community patrollers, organized agricultural farmers association, and government departments that is already established. This is the urban concept, looking at just within the CBD areas, where the purpose is to get all the information to a centralized point. And that is what, if you, for instance, have a footprint or a layout of all your security companies within a specific ward, if you go down to ward or station level, and there is 10 security companies within that specific station, precinct, or ward, and all of them working together to a centralized point, the criminal cannot escape that ward or going to the next ward. And that is basically what this is saying, is just to get all the information onto a centralized point. We're also dealing within the rural concept. And again, the most important, our colleagues in the private security always refers to the red line, is to get all the information onto the red line so that everything that is happening, as it is happening, get communicated to a centralized point, which have the ability, which is the POCC, the police, as well as then private security, to react to these incidents. This is just MEC. I've just added a slide here. We also have a vehicle of interest list where we are assisting law enforcement where a specific vehicle is, for instance, involved in a crime, or a vehicle that is of interest to the police where we can circulate. This specific one was, for instance, a vehicle that we requested, crime intelligence requested us to watch this vehicle. Then we picked up that the vehicle was cloned, that it had false number plates, as the original vehicle had other features in than what the cloned vehicle is. So we start monitoring the vehicle, and eventually the vehicle was picked up by SAPS, or it was moving then on the N3. We were monitoring it as it was moving all the way on the N3. Requesting KwaZulu-Natal, again through the POCC that is there, to look, this vehicle is coming on the N3, it's hitting Mooi Rivier, please pick it up. And when they stopped the vehicle, there were stolen goods, 3 suspects in the vehicle, they were armed, and they just committed robbery in Gauteng. And those are the type of successes that is then achieved by working together in terms of this. This is just a video. I don't think there's much sound on it. It's just where security, this is where Gauteng traffic was in pursuit of this Fortuner, and then the chopper, the air support from private security. So it's just a short clip, but it just shows the cooperation between private security as well as then law enforcement. Let me see, this is also a video that I just want to go through it quickly, but it just shows the type of evidence that we have, and that is specifically where we assisting law enforcement, where a specific incident have occurred, you know where it happened, there's cameras in the vicinity, you know what type of vehicle was used, we can go back and we can get, that is then for the purpose of investigation as well as then to identify specific individuals, and that is all done by the 6,500 plus overview cameras that is then available through the E2 project. This is just an incident that happened. I'm not going to go too deep in it, but you can see there at the back there's an armed robbery taking place, and where they are actually hijacking that person. MEC, in terms of the stats that we are looking at, we have, in terms of the E2, that is then for all incidents, we had, it's a breakdown per province where you will still see that Gauteng is the lead province in terms of the eyes and ears incidents that has been reported. Then looking in the vicinity between 30 and 35,000 incidents that is then reported on a monthly basis through the E2 system that is then reported to the different POCC. But this is at a national level. Then you look at the eyes and ears excluding the ANPR. Of course, the number plate recognition is not our only. We do get a lot of hits from number plate recognitions. But a majority of our, let's say, working methods is then with the security company, the member on the ground, the person on the ground wanting information, sharing information, needing assistance. So this is then incidents recorded excluding the ANPR, where we are still sitting in the vicinity of 2,000 on a monthly basis incidents that is then shared. You will see that there is a decrease in the last month in terms of, if you go back to the previous one, in terms of all incidents. But it's also, the load shedding has contributed to this, because our system's also running on the electricity and the infrastructure that is there. And our understanding is then, in terms of the incidents that is reported, that the load shedding has an impact on that. I've dealt with the excluding. This is then in terms of suspects handed over through the E2 project. There's an average between 90 and 100 suspects that is then on a monthly basis handed over to SAPS. That is then what we are aware of. Remember, we are sharing the information. We are providing the information to the police. We are, for instance, having a security vehicle that is standing off at a stolen vehicle, and police takes over, but we do not always know what happens. So this is what is recorded on our system in terms of suspects that is handed over to police. In terms of vehicles recovered or impounded, an average of in the vicinity of 100 plus on a monthly basis as well, in terms of vehicles that is then recovered through this process. MEC, I'm going to run through this quickly. I think it's important to note that we have more than 30 Telegram and WhatsApp groups that we are monitoring. That is then in terms of the sharing of information. We are working then on the radio system, the push to talk, where we have more than 1,050 members that is actively on the radio system, busy. We're getting the feed from 8 private security helicopters that is available at any given time through the E2. We have seen with the looting when it spilled over from KZN to Gauteng, within a few minutes, the security companies had 8 choppers airborne to look after Gauteng, so we have access to those. We are getting in the vicinity of plus minus 40 million automated vehicle inquiries per day. And to maybe explain that, that is actually 40 million police officers testing a vehicle, whether on the radio calling vehicle positive or negative. So the cameras and the system is testing 40 million vehicles per day, and then that amounts then to a specific, to the vicinity of that you will get a specific number of, and that can verify between 500 to 1,000 per day that is actually wanted or circulated as wanted for serious crime. We are monitored by the private security. That's, as I indicated, in the 9 provinces. We have a person also in the NOCC, and then the Baksa E2 Monitoring Control Center. This is just indicating that we are receiving more than 2,300 alerts of information and incidents per day, leading to more than 1,000. So as an incident, and for instance, a stolen vehicle is picked up on the camera system, which is then testing it on the police circulation system, the ANPR cameras. But it first we get the information, we share it again, first going to the POCC, where the police then confirm, yes, the vehicle is still wanted, and then it gets sent back, let's say, to police as well as to security. And that can be in the vicinity of 1,000 on a daily basis. And then the emails, as I indicated, in the vicinity of 400 emails, at least, that is then sent to stations, depending on, obviously, the number of hits that the cameras picked up. We have remote monitoring in place, so if we do have, for instance, with KwaZulu-Natal, and the looting started there, we took over or we assisted the POCC in the remote control that we can monitor from Sandton, that we could have monitored what or let's say manage our offices in KZN. We have more than 350 suspects that was arrested for various crimes through the project. That is then from the start of it, looking at more than 700 vehicles impounded, more than 96 legal firearms seized, crimes that were stopped. We also have, if you look at the last bullet there, more than 50 vehicles that was impounded by Gauteng Traffic as well as police rapid response services. But we have telegram groups where we send information immediately to the law enforcement member on the ground, so that the Gauteng traffic officer or the police officer that is operational get the positive or the vehicle as it is moving on their smartphones as part of the technology that is available. MEC, in terms of business against crime, our current projects, we are committed in conjunction with our camera service providers for the installation of 100 Gauteng approved cameras. That is then camera sites at Gauteng Provincial Government identified areas where we have started this process a few months back, where we are already busy installing cameras into our disadvantaged areas, that as we have picked up that there's very little camera activities within your disadvantaged areas. So from business against crime with our service providers, we have then provided these cameras or these sites, but at government institutions looking, for instance, there is schools in this area that has been covered already with cameras, as well as then other areas, and we are busy rolling it out with your office then in terms of the disadvantaged areas, in terms of the cameras. Installing of an overview and ANPR cameras at the SAPS vehicle pounds. This was done in Gauteng as well as within KZN, where we have then installed cameras for SAPS at their pounds. Installation of ANPR cameras within law enforcement vehicles. So in terms of the technology from business against crime and our partners, we have then put 5 vehicles of Gauteng Traffic. We have equipped them with state-of-the-art ANPR cameras that is then feeding directly to the circulation system as the vehicle is driving, reading the registration numbers, and then indicating to the law enforcement officer in the vehicle whether the vehicle is stolen or not. And we have quite a lot of successes from Gauteng Traffic in terms of that at this stage. We also then insist in terms of the training of the law enforcement members in terms of data technology. All vehicles that is rolled out, or all vehicles that let's say in the last few years, 15 plus years, must have data dot in that vehicle, and it assists us a lot in terms of to ensure that the police officers understand the data dot technology and also providing the tools for that to trade to them. Sponsor the establishment then of a GBV-friendly facility, which we did last year, a gender-based violence-friendly reporting facility that we established in Protea, then in conjunction with a NGO. And we are also busy currently with establishing another one at Tembisa SAPS. We also did the training for law enforcement in terms of GBV sensitivity, involvement in the national and provincial priority committee. There's at Prof joints and Nat joints level is the priority committees, depending on the type and why the priority committee is there. We are then part of that priority committee. We have also established a project in terms of the cloned vehicles. As nationally, there's in the vicinity of 170 vehicles that is running around at a national level with cloned number plates and duplicate number plates that is easy picked up. Assisting with the investigation and the evidence collecting of law enforcement. As I indicated, in terms of the cameras available, if a specific crime has been committed and there's cameras in the vicinity, we can assist then the law enforcement in terms of that. MEC, I'm going to the end of my presentation. This is just our monitoring center, and I need to emphasize there that the role players that we have there, Vumacam, Sintel, Gauteng Traffic, we're having the radio system from Halo, and as well as the security companies. And I think throughout my presentation, I've touched on the purpose of the monitoring center, but it's then to get collaboration between the different provinces as well as the different role players. This is just some photos of the monitoring center, the E2 one. And that is my details, and that's it from my side. Appreciate. Thanks for the opportunity, MEC. It's fantastic to be here and good to see all the colleagues. And I want to say it's happily retired, Brigadier Johan Creer. Thank you, MEC.
Thank you very much, Brigadier Kruger, for the presentation on business against crime. I'm sure most of you who are in the security industry, if you want to come and work with us, not that it is a prerequisite, but you know, for better coordination, maybe let's affiliate under business against crime. Then we know where to find you, and you tell us your credentials. If you're in Diepkloof, we know you're in Diepkloof. If you're in Norgesag, so that then through their E2 project, they're able to tell you that there's crime being committed right away in your area. If we work like that, we organize that. Sekulama resources wabelungu. Ningahlali nemalokishini nodwa. Niyangizwa? Sengikhuluma ngesintu phela manje ninjani. Kodwa sebeyasiza isiZulu nawo. Yes, you can't scan her nimierni because they can hear you in Zulu. So ningahlebi. Ngihlebile nami kodwa ngihleba kodwa oku progressive. I'm not sure if the Blue Hawk, you are ready? You are ready? Okay, let's allow Premier to come in. He's admiring the drones there. He's fascinated by the drones. Itoy entsha nayifikile. Uthanda kakhulu. Uyakhumbula nawe nabaqeda ukuthengela ama toys, bowuthanda le ethengwe kakhulu le uyekele le yana yakudala. Welcome, Premier. We did present your apology. Can you, Blue Hawk, Fatom? Is it going to show on the screen? All right. Your surname is how do I pronounce it? Porles. Is it a Portuguese? Greek? Oh, I only know Mantariana. She's Italian. And the word perpendicular, I nearly said you are perpendicular, so you are porous. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Good day, everyone. Acknowledge Honourable Premier, Honourable MEC, other MECs, HODs, senior members of law enforcement present, colleagues in the private security industry, members of the CPF, and other guests today, all protocols observed. My name is Theo Peroulis. I'm an executive at a company called Blue Hawk Tactical. And we'll give a brief presentation of who Blue Hawk is, a very brief one, and then the plan is to do 2 demos, showcasing an e-panic system as well as some associated technology. So Blue Hawk is an organization who is situated within Gauteng. We provide an array of different security services including obviously guarding, tactical security. We do a lot of work in the mining security industry, focusing on illegal mining. We do vehicle tracking, anti-poaching work. We have a drone intervention unit. We do off-site CCTV monitoring, including artificial intelligence, LPR installations and monitoring. That's the license plate recognitions that has been mentioned in previous presentations. CCTV installations, helicopter transit, specialized security services, and close protection work. Just in terms of the resources that we touch on, we have tactical teams from City Deep, Denver, City of Johannesburg, all the way through to the east of Johannesburg or Far East Rand, through City of Ekurhuleni. We have armored vehicles, military spec, a helicopter within our fleet. We have expanded our offering by the technology that we'll touch on, which gives us access to over 1,000 responders available through a panic app that we've developed called BHT 911 within Gauteng, and a total of 2,500 responders throughout South Africa. We are part of and proud to be a member of E2 and supportive of all the initiatives that has been mentioned by the Brigadier in the previous presentation. We're also part of a number of JOCs that are what we call on the ground or regional JOCs, joint operations commands, groups such as first responders within Bedfordview, Cleveland, Denver, Boksburg, Springs, Benoni. We're part of a Sniper Connect group utilizing the sniper technology, as well as LPR Gauteng, which uses all the technology and other initiatives. An example of a safer city case study, and this all integrates into the technology that we offer. One of the areas that we service is within the city of Joburg, Cyril Dean and Bruma, and then an adjacent area, Morning Hill, Bedfordview, obviously an urban area, but an area that had a number of residential robberies. Some businesses operate within these business enclosures. They had 17 home invasions, the 12 months prior to us installing quite an extensive camera network linked to LPR technology at all the entrances, linked to thermal technology, and since that's been installed, crime has reduced 72% in that specific area. It's about 1,000 residents within these areas, and a true testament to what can be done using technology as well as response in reducing crime in specific areas. And not one home invasion in terms of a trigger line of cameras that were installed in that area. Within these enclosures, we also have deployed our panic app system, which will actually showcase a live demonstration in other areas of Gauteng. So an array of specialized security services, including helicopters, drones. We've used our drones in deployments to detect and recognize and use it on the ground in the fight against illegal mining, as well as being deployed in specific TISH areas throughout Gauteng. Last year, one of our key partners is Vumacam, the biggest camera or LPR company that has an extensive amount of cameras within Gauteng, approximately 7,000 cameras, a combination of LPR as well as overview cameras. And we've utilized that technology for the last 3 years, and since 2021, we're one of the best performing recovery companies using that LPR technology within the areas of Kensington, Bez Valley, Bruma, Cyril Dean, and surrounding Bedfordview, and as well as an expansion of the network that's currently underway within Boksburg, Benoni, and Germiston areas. In the last 2 years, we've recovered over 500 vehicles and made that many arrests. So a vehicle that will be driving an area could be flagged for being involved in a business robbery, a house robbery, wanted in the commission of a crime that was videoed elsewhere, and in essence drives past a specific camera and triggers an alert. Crimes also include smash and grabs, hit and runs, murder, drug dealers, etc., you name it. The technology that's out there at the moment, as has been mentioned, in essence, through this case study shows that using that technology, you can actively reduce crime. Specifically in that area, crime is reduced by 4% in 2022. And we know with crime statistics that are reported nationally crime is up, but by using technology and forming partnerships with other security service companies in the area and working together to reduce crime, this is the difference that one can make. We also deploy drone, and as mentioned, LPR response. So that shows you a map of the VumaCam network within Gauteng. Very extensive map, very effective map of all their cameras that they have. And I know that there are a number of partners here that also make use of their technology. Again, having this tech allows us to pick up wanted vehicles where, believe it or not, the number plates remain. Because there are just so many cameras around the area, it makes it possible for law enforcement and private security to work together to stop these vehicles from driving an area and scouting to commit potential crime. On the drone surveillance, we also, as mentioned, deploy drones that are used within our environment, streaming to our control room. We have both daytime and nighttime drones, so you pick up thermal movement in rural or non-urban areas in the fight against crime. Helicopter surveillance, we also provide that service, be it tactical and partnerships with medical response companies such as ER24, Netcare 911 for treatment of patients that are injured as well as medical evacuation. In terms of the panic app, we've about 2 years ago developed a panic app called BHT 911, which, as mentioned, gives a network of 2,500 responders around South Africa and over 220 security companies. It's actually grown since then, but we'll touch on it in detail in a short while. And then the panic app demo. So my associate Jason will now hook up his laptop and give a demonstration of a live demonstration of a user that's downloaded the app and then an active response that takes place. I'll hand over to him, and then once he's done, I'll take over to do the second demonstration. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. Fantastic. My name is Jason Ferreira. I work at a company called Aura. What Aura has done is we've amalgamated all available private security companies onto one platform via connected device. Right? So what you see on the screen is every single available resource that's ready to receive an activation from any one of our customers on our network. It's on-demand security and medical services. A responder is waiting, is available. When a call-out comes through to his connected device, which sits inside his vehicle, he's able to accept it, navigate, and respond to that user who is in distress or needs help. Right now, I'm going to demonstrate a live panic. This is a live system. At the moment, we can actually see live panics coming through from other customer sources. And you are going to see the panic that I'm going to initiate on my device over here and request the closest vehicle to come through. As we see, the panic has came through to our control center. It's dropped a pin to my location. It is now searching for the closest responder to receive the call. Once that responder has received the call on their connected device inside the vehicle, they will then accept that call and navigate to that location. As we see, we have a responder here called Lepenio Security. The responder's name, his contact details, and everything on the event stream is being recorded for us to know exactly what's happening on that live activation at any point in time. We can see the responder's location. We can see the route that that responder is going to take to get to that user's location, and that user is also able to see the location of the responder and how far that responder is from arriving to help the user with whatever security or medical issue that person has. As we see, we've tried to contact the user, which is me. I haven't answered the phone, and the dispatch will continue autonomously. Machine-to-machine dispatch what some of you know as called a computer automated dispatch platform. The platform doesn't favor any one company. It rings the closest vehicle. If that vehicle is not available because that vehicle is on a primary alarm, then it will fall back or default to the second available vehicle, and so on and so forth until such a time as an active responder has availability to respond to that activation and help that user. As we see the responder is getting closer, when this responder arrives on scene, the system will automatically mark him as arrived and come help the user. If we go back to the map, each black dot that is represented on this map is a resource across the whole of South Africa ready to respond to any single activation that comes through our network. So take it for example, you live in Soweto, you leave your house because you want to travel to Cape Town, you're essentially leaving your security company behind. That security company might not have resources in Cape Town, but according to our network, if you need help in that operational area, when you push your panic button, the companies we have onboarded in Cape Town will then receive that activation and help you. So it's a national panic application. Okay, or even, if I zoom out, just to show off a little bit, it's an international panic application. We have resources in Kenya, we have resources in Ghana, Botswana, Namibia, Lesotho, Eswatini, the UK, etc., all over the world, ready to respond to any activation that you might need, any help that you might need in any operational area across the world. Thank you, guys. Have a great day. Eh?
Where's the HOD? Thank you very much for, oh, you are not done. Oh, okay. No, we're admiring this technology. Can you imagine all of us here, each and every household? And please don't charge us this expensive, exorbitant amount of money. HOD is up.
Yeah, you set up there. Okay, we're setting up two presentations. So what you'll see on the screen is just an adjustment, some technical adjustments. Give it a minute. So the demo that we'll be doing now is a combination of some of the technology, well, it's a combination of the technology that we've spoken about. Aura technology, which is the back end of our BHT 911 system, also integrates into a number of other platforms. We as Blue Hawk are an active user of the VumaCam software, and VumaCam has a system called Proof 360, where in essence we get alerts from either LPR positive vehicles. That system then allows one to verify if that vehicle is still positive, because sometimes you get a positive alert, but the responder, the vehicle, the said vehicle, may have been stolen, recovered, and the individual hasn't gone to clear their vehicle. Or they have cleared their vehicle, and it might take a little bit of time, a couple of days, for the SAP system to update that it's no longer wanted. So this system enables us to get an alert. We then verify if the vehicle is still wanted on the SAP's database, and once verified, our system allows us to dispatch. So you'll click a dispatch function, which I won't do, but my control room will do, but I'll show the alert as it comes through. So we've loaded a vehicle of interest, in essence for this demo specifically. The vehicle of interest will in essence activate a trigger on the system. our controllers at the BHT control room then clicks dispatch. Once you click dispatch, it integrates into the Aura system, and then the Aura system will receive an alert to the closest responder, as has been demonstrated by Jason. So what this allows to happen is if you've got a pole standing here and a perps vehicle drives past that's wanted, the alert comes through and you click dispatch. So the law enforcement or private security company vehicles might be 2 or 3 or 4 kilometers away. But whoever is part of the Aura network, in essence, can be dispatched that specific second, and they might be 50 meters away from that specific vehicle. And your chances of recovering that vehicle is that much higher. We deploy as the dispatch process, and we, in essence, have a percentage of the camera network of VUMA, specifically to the areas that we service, to basically look for wanted vehicles. So what you'll see in the demo, what you see on the screen, is a live dash cam view from our tactical vehicles. So we've got a live view. You can see forward and you can see back 24/7. It also does a whole lot of other artificial intelligence benefits also it has. But it enables us to see while a vehicle is being dispatched or during an incident that takes place, or for evidence gathering. And a second screen will also come up a little later. You can activate the demo. Thank you. So what you see on the right is the Proof 360 system. And now we're just waiting for a vehicle to pass a pole and activate. We'll also give an audio of my Halo radio, which will basically give you some audio of our control room and communication. Okay, there you see, that's another alert. We will also receive unusual behavior alerts on overview cameras. Perhaps there's some traffic that the perps vehicle needs to navigate through. Yeah, the vehicle is just passed. We're just waiting for the alert. The top left screen is a drone view, just to give an overview of the end point of the takedown. If I could ask Nick, my GM, just to follow up. It hasn't passed the camera yet, ma'am. Not yet. We can't tell the criminal what to do, but we can catch them. Yes, that's correct. So apologies for the delay. I know, ma'am. It's worth the wait. No, it hasn't hit the camera yet for some reason. The suspect vehicle needs to go past the camera to trigger an alert.
So is the suspect, where's the suspect?
It
Something about Dalambi. Somebody suspect vehicle to pass in front of the camera.
That's an overview camera.
Ah, he has taken some short left. You won't pick them up here. It's only sources from other countries that don't know how to maneuver here in Gauteng. Gauteng's one are clever. Yeah, they're looking for someone. They say you must pass somewhere there. What has this person done?
It's just a flagged vehicle.
Flagged vehicle.
We've loaded it as a demonstration.
Okay.
But it could be, it's a demonstration of what we do every single day.
That's what I'm saying. A criminal will have gone past here in Soweto by now.
Yeah.
Whilst we are still waiting for them here on the camera.
But we don't know exactly when the criminals pass. Hence the benefit of having this technology. So when the alert does come through, our control room receives it and then processes it. This one that you see here would have come up for unusual behavior, but it's not an LPR alert. And the unusual behavior could be someone's driving on the wrong side of the road, someone pulls out a weapon. There we go. So now we get an LPR alert.
That's the number plate. Okay.
Yeah. So the unusual behavior can pick up for a mugging or someone pulling out a gun at a robot. This one is parked Boeing Road East.
Boeing Road. Because I can see a lot of movement.
Yeah, that's a highway.
That's a freeway.
This is a freeway.
Yeah.
And this is a side road.
White party. It's a white Ford Ranger party. Juliet Kilo 11 Tango Charlie Golf Papa. It's on Van Buren and Florence.
So there we have the camera hits. Our control room notifies our responders, and they're also dispatched through Aura.
Copy that, affirmative.
So you'll see a picture of the vehicle and its registration number, and then the associated crimes on the right-hand side. This is a private load, so it's one of our unmarked vehicles, in essence, that's participating in the demonstration. Our controllers see the alert, and now you see it's disappeared because they've processed it. Then it should come up on the Aura system. Jason, if you could zoom in there. Bedford View area. So you'll see the vehicle, the Blue Hawk vehicle's dash cam. It's basically looking for this vehicle. It does pass additional cameras, but what we've got...
Control Officer 05, I've got visual of the vehicle traveling in direction BP Garage on Van Buren.
So we have our other units, whose dash cams are not shown, that in essence they've got visual or visibility of the vehicle that they're chasing, and he's asked for backup.
Copy that. CIU 14, Charlie Romeo.
The dash cam live view that you see on the left, there's also a map on the right-hand side.
CIU 14, Charlie Romeo.
So there you see the Vuma cams in the background that he's passing and turning right.
CIU 14, proceed for backup.
On the top right corner, you can see the white bakkie in the drone and a vehicle behind him. And the vehicle's requesting backup for the second vehicle to assist. So it's a soft stop. When this happens, responders don't know, is it four perps with guns or is it a criminal going shopping with his family? And it's happened. And we've had positive vehicles where criminals do that. So approach is important. You have backup from the second vehicle in the northern side of the drone footage, and they approach with caution.
Just to note
there's a delay on the camera footage.
So the third vehicle approaches. I think the footage is a little bit delayed. Okay, so the dash cam footage is a little bit delayed, but it shows you, in essence, a slight playback of what went down before the vehicle was stopped. And that's the technology, enabled to take criminals off the streets and keeping our Gauteng a safer place. Thank you.
Your cameras don't have face recognition. I did not see if it's somebody who looks like you or looks like me.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. But it is something that we're working on.
Working on, yeah. We must be able to recognize his face. Can we get Mr. Mnisi on gun tracking? Mr. Mnisi? Yes, Premier, they are carrying some. I'm not drone, then tell us no, I'm a helicopter, anyway, I'm not drone. Hey, I'm not drone in the map, you want a helicopter. I want to forget. So you know Excel or you know?
Yeah, Excel.
Excel.
KS.
Yes. The now to Excel. And in Afrikaans is Excel.
Thank you, colleagues. Thank you to the MEC and the Premier. My name is Charles Mnisi. I'm the founder and the operation director of a company called EKS Vehicle Tracking. We started the business in 2016 when we left Tracker. We decided to say, let's go and start something of our own. And MEC and the Premier, I'm very proud that we are one of the breeds of the township economy. Yes, our business called EKS, a lot of people would ask, what is EKS stands for? EKS stands for Ekaslam, which means, yes, which means my township. Yeah, so in 2016, when I left Tracker, I decided to start the business at the back room of my parents' place in Mabopane, in the Pretoria city. And we are very proud that we started with only one employee in the garage. Today we are sitting with 204 employees. And we are competing hard with the main 5 tracking companies. And we are national now and in other 3 SADC regions. So we are happy to be here. In the year 2020, we are one of the companies that were selected in the Treasury contract, which is the RT46 contract. We are responsible for tracking all government vehicles, including the law enforcement government. So we are happy that we've managed to move from a back room into a real office. So thank you, colleagues. I'm going to demonstrate something that's called gun tracking. It's a very new technology and a new system. In 2021, when we realized that we are sitting with over 50,000 of government vehicles into our database, we looked at that system and we were like, what can we do with this technology that is sitting into the government vehicles? So we developed a system that's called BCOM technology, whereby our gun tracking actually speaks to all the government vehicles, but when you look into your phone, it looks like it's actually tracking live, but it's actually using the other vehicles of the government to actually pull the data and show where the gun is. So we have tested the product last year, and this year, in the next coming 4 to 5 weeks, we're hoping to take this product into the market. So we were given an opportunity to present yesterday to the eGov people as well as the community safety people, and we were invited here. So we are happy to be here. So I'm going to showcase what the gun tracking does as we sit now. We are not going to pull guns and try to demonstrate and show you how it works, but we have a couple of weapons that are here, which are just shells of guns that are currently tracking here in Soweto. We will show that after doing this presentation. So when I'm doing this video, which we've done a demonstration into a training center, then it will show you exactly how the system works. Thank you, colleagues. So when the video is playing, I'll keep talking. Thank you.
An intelligent electronic device embedded in the grip or stock of firearms.
So basically here it tells you that the technology has been put into the grip of a firearm. So guys, this is not a real gun. Don't think I will. So the technology will sit here on the grip of a weapon. Yes. So it's been tested already on the clock. Currently we have systems or tracking systems that are sitting at Clock South Africa to actually see if we can actually bring this product with the tracking system already from the manufacturer. And it's been tested in rifles as well as shotguns.
Is at the core of the firearm management system. In the event of a handgun being unholstered, an alert or alarm is received.
So here, ladies and gentlemen, it shows you when the weapon has been taken off the holster, it will send a notification to the control center saying weapon unholstered, and it will show the device that is been unholstered on.
On the monitoring platform, the alert is set to designated mobile phones. The time, date, and coordinates of the unholstering event recorded on the monitoring platform. Every discharge will be reported to the monitoring platform. A record of the number.
Thank you, colleagues. So it will also show, as soon as you've unholstered your gun, when you shoot, it will send a notification to say the gun has been fired, at which position, by who.
Number of rounds discharged will assist in keeping track of spent ammunition. An alarm is sent to designated mobile phones. Firearms can be virtually fenced in safes, armories, districts, city boundaries, and more. An alert is displayed when geofence transgressions occur.
So here what we can do, if a certain number of police officers are stationed to work in a certain area, we can geofence that area, whereby if a police officer takes the gun and gets out of that area, it will send a notification to say this gun is going to a place where it's not authorized to be. So just going back to when the gun is unholstered, we actually an IoT company. We are not a specialist in weapons. But for us, what is very important is that we're looking at the pains of the government, whereby we've seen a lot of police officers killing their spouses. And for us, this is very important to bring this type of technologies. Because if we could actually bring this type of technology and create this geofencing, link it to a time and attendance or a payroll of the police officers, we could be able to see if a police officer is unholstering his weapon out of duty. And that is very critical because all these GBVs and murders that are happening into our country, they happen when police officers are sitting at home. So what we can pick up now is that when the firearm is unholstered at a certain time, we can actually pick the pattern of a police officer who's actually threatening the wife or the partner. Then we can be able to say, or to send a notification to say, this police officer has been unholstering his weapon out of duty. What is happening? Then the department must actually intervene and ask that police officer, why are you actually unholstering your firearm when you're out of duty at home? So that automatically speaks to say something is happening at home and we can be able to prevent the GBV that's currently happening or police officers killing one another. Thank you.
The alert is also sent to designated mobile phones. Live tracking of a firearm is possible when a weapon is discharged, unholstered, lost, stolen, or forcefully taken.
So here, colleagues, we can see the firearm is moving and is tracking in real time. It can also show you the speed that the firearm is traveling with.
Of the person. The monitoring platform is an inventory of all firearms with an overview of the number of weapons allocated to particular areas. Zoom in to reflect details relevant to a specific firearm. The physical location, date and time, holster status and battery voltage of the embedded device is available at the click of a button. Detailed reports on the events associated with all firearms can be easily accessed on this user-friendly management platform. Reports can be exported for management and information purposes. The value proposition of this unique solution is electronic inventory of firearms, reports and alerts on weapons unholstered, reports and alarms on weapon discharge, GFS transgression alerts, tracking of weapons for recovery purposes, alerts when battery voltage of device is low. Click a button and get results. Mail to.
Thank you, colleagues. That was just showing how the technology is working. But as much as I said that we've got some couple of pistols here, I can just quickly connect our laptops just to show you how it looks like in real life. Thank you. Thank you, colleagues. What is happening now, it's actually telling you where this pistol has been traveling. So it traveled from Whiskey Creek in Copperleaf Estate in Centurion. Then it went to Lanchan Avenue. So when you look at the system, it looks like it is actually traveling on its own, but it's actually connected to the technology of the vehicle, which means that if the police officer is sitting in the vehicle, the system automatically communicates, and when it moves, it actually shows you live where that pistol is busy traveling. So, colleagues, this is our live demonstration that is actually showing you where this vehicle, where this pistol has been actually traveling. And we actually have our alert page where it will actually send all the notifications to a particular control room. We also have our reports where it will actually tell you if you want to pull a certain report. Also, we do have our dashboard where it will actually show you how many shots were fired at which place and so forth. So here we can see some of the pistols that are here. Here we have a gun that is currently reporting today. It's the 18th. It's currently reporting right here where we are. 21 Barks Cross Street in Noordgesig in Soweto. So this is live. It's reporting exactly where we are. If you want another view, you can actually go and see exactly which building this pistol has been situated at. So here it's where we are. Here's the primary school that we are in. So when you want to actually follow where that pistol has been standing, it will actually show you the building where it's currently at. So here, it tells you as soon as this pistol will start traveling, it will give you the kilometers, it will give you the time that it spent traveling, then it will give you the time that it spent stationary. Thank you.
I'm done. Siyabonga kakhulu. Does it also track these police cars that are stopping in front of Pakistani shops? Ngiyabuza amaphoyisa. They say amaphoyisa ame phambi kwesitoro sama-Pakistan. Or you can add that one. Kumalo, we need to track even those that are stopping in front of Pakistani shops now. Yeah, if they have did they remove their guns out of their holster or what did they do? Antonabam, one item is a teacher. They said they have one item premier that they want to do for you. Come. Yes. These are the ambassadors. I still have a phone here. The owner has not collected that phone. My phone here ring and she barely said put the phone here on.
Mr. Maisela?
Yes. Go that way. Yes, Bana.
Mr. Maisela, my principal.
Mr. Maisela. Oh, Mr. Maisela.
Ubalekile. Mr. Mlambo? Mr. Mlambo? Tandega? Babalekile. All right, fine. Drop hands. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a group here of learners who are very aspiring to be who you are here. They want to be you, they want to be you, they want to be you. And we've been doing this for the past plus minus 12, 13 years. And the best thing to do is maybe ask the Honorable Premier of Gauteng to track the children, because there's gems out there. Mr. Maisela Stolusondele, we are part of us. We are not in isolation. Yes, so the children will just showcase a few little things, and we also take the honor to giving thanks, special thanks to the parents. Right turn, my children. Right turn. Right turn. Right turn again. Right, you are facing parents, and nothing has been prepared here. This is going to be just automatically, it's going to be very random. Can I ask one of you to put up your hands and tell us what does the term NCOP stand for? Yes,
the term NCOP stands for National Council of Provinces.
They aspire to learn about national and international events. Can one of you tell us what happened? There has been a disaster that happened some time ago. Hands up. There has been a disaster that occurred some time ago. There was a disaster, yes?
In Turkey, there was an earthquake in the 5th of February.
Right. We speak big English here. Turkey is not Turkey because they don't belong to these people. What is the country called?
Turkey.
It's called Turkey. Right. Among us are so many dignitaries, but we shall choose upon the most distinct one. Children, you were taught there were how many provinces in South Africa? How many provinces? Hands up.
9.
There were 9 what?
Provinces.
Thank you. Which province are we in?
South Africa.
South Africa is a country. Which province are we in?
Gauteng. Gauteng.
Who is the Premier of Gauteng?
Mr. Panyaza Lesufi.
I beg of you parents, and I'm saying it with a drop in my heart, to say there are many of such children out there. I love what is happening here today, right now, and appreciate that the little ones and the innocent ones have been afforded the opportunities to be part of this indaba. Thank you, MEC, for having given them the VIP treatment. These upright young ladies and gentlemen wish to be you. You know, they want to be whoever you are here. And they always aspire to know what is happening. And thank you to the principal for affording us. Sometimes we steal so much of his time. And when he shouts, at least they can talk for themselves. I remember when the MEC came to the school, the principal mistakenly said, who was coming, boys and girls? Yes?
Who visited your school?
Yeah.
The mistake our principal made was saying it was the MEC of Education.
And instead of the MEC for Education, who came?
The MEC of Community Safety.
And they are quite daring. They asked to speak to her, but she couldn't because she was busy. She sent Angsakumbuli Umambani, and they said to her, we still want to see the MEC for your education. Yes. Mr. Premier, my children want to see the MEC for education. And I am proud standing here to say, as a humble servant for the school, we, the ambassadors, won a trophy and also got a special award for doing this job that most South Africans don't do, of hoisting the flag every day. They hoist the flag to do what? Sing, yeah. And you bring it down to do what? Can you close the business of the day quickly? Just give them a stanza. Day is done. To end this, we start small, or rather we begin small, and I am saying it again with a drop and a tear in my heart, not in my eyes. This leaves a photographic memory in their hearts. Mr. Premier, may I challenge you? I'm one person I don't forget. Please track my children. They are more than 300 out there who went through this, so that we can do something for a better South Africa. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, my children. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. Step your feet. Step your feet. Say hooray. Thank you very much. You can sit down. We'll now invite MEC for eGov just to make a comment, and then allow Mr. Tabang Mulife to host our roundtable discussion. Thereafter, Premier will give us the keynote address. MEC?
Thank you very much. We are not going to be long. We just want to give a message to this event. But let me start by saying that what happens today here fits in the vision of the Premier. When the Premier appointed me on the 7th of October, he called me and said to me, I want you to help fight crime. And I look at him, I thought he is mistaking me for something else. And remember, you are just being told, I'm appointing you now. We were afraid to say, hey, are you not mistaking me for community? And he went on to say, yeah, no, I want you to fight crime. But we've got to use cutting-edge technology to do that. Therefore, eGov must be able to do this work for us. And these are the areas that the Premier has identified. I'm just going to mention them and leave it there because he's still going to speak to ourselves. The first one was the CCTV, which must be used to track criminals. We've seen a lot around that. The second one, and by the way, this event was not there when he was speaking to us. That's the vision he had. The second one was, let's use drones to ensure that we access even the most of the difficult places in fighting crime. The third one was, let's use e-panic button and targets the weak, the vulnerable, those in particular who are facing a high possibility of GBV in their daily lives. That's where we should be doing. The fourth one, he says, let us install tracking devices on cars registered motor vehicle by our department, in all of these cars, so that we can be able to intervene insofar as hijacking and stealing of cars are concerned. And the last point that he raised, that in order to do all of these things, we need an intelligent hub to coordinate crime in our province. An integrated intelligent operational center, where all of us who are gathered here today will work hand in hand to ensure that we do fight crime. His message was very clear, and we understood it, and that's what we are living every day in eGov. His message was clear. Criminals must have no space in our province. We must fight them with whatever that we had. And at that particular point, I thought, hey, Premier, you are setting the bar too high. Would you be able to do all of these things? And the other one, he said, I want a helicopter in each and every region. And I'm like, hey, wait, no matter what. But few months down the line, I can tell you, we've made it. There's a lot of progress. I was saying to him that if there was no Mama action coming from Gauteng province, I would call him a Papa action. But because there's a Mama action, I'm not going to do that. He is a practical man who would say, let's do the things that has to be done. Practical things that must benefit our communities. So, all in all, we don't want our people to only access this service because they've got money. Because all of these things that have been demonstrated, if you don't have money, it will be difficult for you to access them. And that's where we're coming in, and that's the intervention we're making as government. Thank you very much.
Without any waste of time, let me invite Papa Action to actually address us. Asimshayeleni izandla Papa Action.
Oi, oi, bangani, oi, oi. Are you well? Are you well? I'm trying to have this. Yeah. No, good afternoon, everyone. I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge our program director, the MEC responsible for community safety, MEC Faith Mazibuko. Those that know, they say Chovicho. Chovicho. I want to acknowledge the MEC responsible for COCTA, eGov, Research and Development, Mziaifani Kumalo, Mdo. Thank you. I also want to acknowledge the chairperson that is responsible for community safety in the Gauteng legislature. He's the former MEC responsible for health in our province. I call him Wallis. It's a doctor that doesn't touch men. Dr. Bandile Masuku. Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you. Thank you, Wallis. I'm not sure the chairperson of the portfolio committee of eGov is here. I'm not sure. I've not seen them. But I also want to welcome someone very special because he is dedicated. It's not somebody that I can doubt his commitment. The only area where we'll fight, me and him, is when he encouraged members of his political party to invade land illegally. But in terms of fighting crime, I have no doubt that in the Johannesburg municipality, I have a new crime-fighting warrior in the form of Dr. Mgcini Tswaku. Dr. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you so much. I know we are going to fight criminals. No doubt about that. I also want to thank the leadership of the police, represented here by Major General Kumalo, Mtuong as well. Sabonga. Let me tell you, and I'm raising this to you, MEC. If there is a vacancy of a national commissioner, they must not touch our provincial commissioner. They must not touch our provincial. They must go and look for other commissioners, but not our commissioner, General Mawela. He is doing exceptionally well together with your team, and I think we need to thank him for that. I also want to thank teams that are coming from National Hawks, the Blue Hawk Tactical Unit, Vumacam, Bidvest, Protea Coin, Tracker Connect, Business Against Crime, those that were demonstrating the firearm tracking solution, AKS, and also Ntate TJ Masilela. I want to acknowledge and thank all of you for coming in. Ladies and gentlemen, if we can't fight crime in Gauteng, forget of declaring this province economic hub of our country. That thing will be gone, will be history. If we can't recruit the best minds to work in Gauteng because they're scared of crime, we must forget of this province being the economic hub of the country. If every day in Sandton, every day in our townships, every day in our communities, someone is killed, everyone will migrate out of our province, by extension out of our country. We'll lose good skills, we'll lose job opportunities, and we'll lose everything that we have as a province. So to fight crime is not a luxury, it's a must, and I'm ready to lead that fight. I'm ready to lead that fight. Whatever means it takes. I've taken a department that was having a budget of 600 million. I'm making it a department of almost 6 billion department now. We are cutting budget from all useless things. We're not going to have budget where the Department of Sports and Culture say they want to spend this X amount of money to teach people to be DJs. I must teach people to fight crime, not to be DJs. That's the commitment that I'm leading in this program. So, we have convened you for one reason today. Very important reason. We must not duplicate what we do. We must supplement, combine, and take this fight back to criminals. So your presence today encourages me. I've seen helicopters today, I'm seeing drones, I'm seeing technology. Because as government were sleeping and snoring, the private sector went ahead of us. And we are saying to you, the private sector, wait for us. We are ready to run with you. Whatever that you have, we want it. There's a gentleman, I think is it Blue Hawk or something? And they demonstrated me their mobile command center. It's Bidvest. And I said to the HOD of Community Safety, I need this. Let's buy it now. Because we can't have something that government does not have. Because government responsibility is to protect. Any other thing is a nice to have. And I always argue to say the cost of living in our country, it's not too high. And the cost of living in our country, it's galloping because government is not offering what it's supposed to offer. If government was offering good policy, good protection, there will be no need for people to take their extra last money to buy alarms, to buy CCTVs, to hire security guards, because there will be police. But because the police are overwhelmed, under-resourced, they don't have these technologies that we have. But they are the police. But they don't have this. It will never happen in this province. The police that I have the honor to lead will have everything that they must have. And the MEC knows. They must have everything we must have. They now hired 2 helicopters. I said I need 6. I don't need 2. And I'm prepared to buy 4 extra helicopters for them. Because each and every region in Gauteng must have an helicopter ready to tackle criminals. Because criminals feel whatever they do in blocking a highway, cash heist, they think will come after 3 hours. They must watch after the 1st of April. We will be there in action and take them down immediately. So, we are resourcing this thing, good people. We are resourcing it. And we need each one of you. We don't need to compete. This cake is too big for everyone. The only condition, do your job. That's it. Do your job. Don't come here for profiting. Come here for partnership. Don't come here to milk the state. Come here to partner with the state. Don't come here to take advantage of the state, to say they don't know this, I'm clever than. No. We want to work with everyone to push back crime in this province, and we will push crime in this province. If I fail to do that, remove me. Remove me. Because this is the mission that we must not fail. I understand we must have clinics. I understand we must have hospitals. I understand we must have schools. I understand we must build parks. I understand we must build roads. What's the use of building those things if they'll be vandalized overnight and be stolen? We must be powerful to stop those that wants to destroy our country. And we will find them. We will find them. So there must be no inch of Gauteng that is not under the CCV camera surveillance. No inch. Whether in the suburbs, whether you're in the townships, whether in the informal settlements, whether you are in hostels, every inch of Gauteng must be under CCTV surveillance. We have to know what is happening in all our communities. I'm repeating this. Whatever cost it takes, I'll pay for it. Whatever cost it saves, because the cost of saving life compared to the cost of losing life, the cost of saving lives is cheaper. Because if someone is dead, they'll not come back. AKA is dead because of an illegal people who can't be traced, whose guns cannot be tracked. We are having a system to track all these guns in our province. Because if you can't tackle 3 things in fighting crime, forget. In every criminal activity, there is a vehicle. In every criminal activity, there is a car. In every criminal activity, they are looking for money. So these are the 3 things that we must put the highest form of technology around them. 3. Cars, guns, money. People are hijacking cash heists because they need money. If we remove money, we've removed cash heist. So people of Gauteng, you must be ready to enter a cashless Gauteng, where we are going to use our phones, we are going to use all other things. So those companies that are in cash, we are going to utilize and refurbish to our services. But we must remove cash. And we have removed cash heist immediately. We remove cash, we have removed ATM bombings immediately. You remove cash, you remove hijacking and kidnapping of people because people who don't want to have that large amount of money. But with motor vehicles, we are going big, good people. Very big in this province. Fortunately, the number plates numbering, I'm told by safety and transport, the numbering are running out. So must have new numbers in Gauteng. Because the numbering is going out. So we are changing the new number plates in Gauteng. So we are going to have, gone are the days where somebody will just put a wrong number plate and think they will survive in Gauteng. They must go to other provinces, not in Gauteng. We are changing the number plates, putting new features. Even if they take this car to Zimbabwe or Zambia, Botswana, we will track it now because of those new number plates. People that think they can take our cars and cross over the borders, they are ready for a surprise. They will be shocked. So we are tracking every car now. We want every car that is in Gauteng to be tracked. We want every number plate now to be amplified in terms of security features. No one must drive in our streets without a car registration number. They must be removed and be removed immediately. We have to put all the resources and the energy. These temporary permits that people can photocopy and put a temporary permit, their time is over. From the 1st of April, we are putting strong temporary permits that can also be tracked and can't be tiered, can't be photocopied. We mean business. These are the resources that you are unleashing at this province. Because if you can't do that, you will never fight crime. That is why the guns and the demonstration, all our security ones, the one that are, because it starts with an official gun to be later an illegal gun. So if we can ensure that all our official guns can be tracked the way they are, from the police, the traffic cops, you guys in the security industry, if we put a tracking device in all our guns and then later bring all our gun owners, we know every gun that is stolen and taken away, we will track that particular gun. That's what we need to protect our people in this particular province. And I remember when I told officials that we need to track guns, everyone looked at me, are you crazy, tracking a gun like a car? I'm glad today they've seen the demonstration. We can track any gun anywhere that is within circulation in our province. And we can also track those that are given the task to carry guns, but they misbehave and kill their spouses with those particular guns. We are ready, good people. And that is why you are seeing drones here. There is no area that we can't penetrate because people steal things and run into an informal settlement and run in an area that they think they can't see them. We are bringing 180 strong drones to fly over our province in this particular province, so that every inch of an area that can be tracked will be tracked. And we're saying to every South African, you were saying police are no longer answering your call when you phone them. Actually, when you phone police, you claim, they ask you what kind of a gun sound that is happening. We are saying every South African, we are starting with our officials to test this thing is working. You have seen an e-panic button being demonstrated. We want everyone in Gauteng, you press that button, all this force of private security, our police and private municipal police, they will come to you where we are. And we will know where we are because of the cameras that we have installed. By the time we come to you, we know the nature of the problem and will tackle that particular criminal. That's the e-panic buttons that we want to give to South Africans. So, we are entering a new phase, good people, to sniff out criminals. We are entering a new phase to make Gauteng a safer place. We are entering a new phase of partnership with those that are at the cold front of fighting crime. Let's combine our energies and make criminals a foreign thing and history in our province. They can go and do whatever they want to do somewhere, not in Gauteng. Thank you so much, and thanks for your attention.
You still remember my slogan? Belungu, you still remember? I said to her, What did I say? Angzwanga belungu. Come. Wanya tsotsi. Theo, I don't hear you and your colleagues. Repeat again. Yes. I said we don't have criminals here. We have tsotsis here in Gauteng. So that message from Premier, I'm sure it is actually motivating all of us here, gathered here, to say the days of criminals in Gauteng are numbered. They can go to Kuvuki land, not here in Gauteng. Here in Gauteng, they will feel us. I wanted to say it in Afrikaans. There is a kak and patal. Yes. Thank you very much. Let's hand over to Tabang. We can step off. Sungena run discussion. Yes, they need the space here. Thank you very much. Take over, Tabang.
Good afternoon. Can I please get the following people? Theo, General Kumalo, who's coming? Is it you or Prelati? Yeah. Go outside. Go. Okay. And then Ricky. General Mpembe. Oh, Joseph. Oop. I'm calling him now. Okay. And Colonel Mukwena. Colonel Mukwena. And Tata Masilela. Look. Thank you very much. My name is Tabang Lubabalo Mulife. I am from here in South Africa. I agree with you, boy. Gauteng is a cosmopolitan province. Doesn't deserve to be called a province. We are Africa, actually. So I agree with you, Mfanam. We are not going to have, for those of you that have got a program, Anton Senegal is not here, unfortunately. So all of you are here. So one of the things that we're going to do in this discussion, we're not going to take a lot of time. We are going to limit the discussion into a few things. The Premier has spoken, and everyone else has presented what they are doing. If you have noticed, everyone is doing everything in the province. The question in all of these presentations is, what do we do to utilize the resources that we have and pull them together into a single repository somewhere? And how is it possible that SAPS can open up its door for all this information that is coming through so that it can be processed at that level? So instead of General Major Kumalo, we are going to have the Brigadier there. So what we will then do, we will ask those that did not present here, just to make a brief presentation about what is it that they are currently doing around e-policing, and how do they see this partnership. And after that, all of us, I will give them an opportunity to engage amongst themselves about one single issue How are we going to work together? What are we going to do practically? And what are the commitments which they are going to be doing here to work with government? They can see government is trying to pull everything else together. How do we make it work? So I'm going to ask Ricky, just to make a brief presentation, because you didn't present here.
Perfect. Thank you and good afternoon to everyone. To the Premier, to the MECs, HODs, to law enforcement, thank you very much for having us. I think, Premier, very aspiring in terms of what's spoken about, and something that's very close to what we're trying to do from a platform perspective. Everything that that we've seen today, everything that we're hearing, is exactly the way that we've built our business and the way that we're thinking about it in the fight against crime. So we think the evolution of security is going to be technology. You have to use technology to fight crime. It's never going to be a silver bullet. It's never going to be, a camera is never going to put a web around someone and arrest them, but you have to get the right tactical resource or the right ability to the right point in time. So my name is Ricky Crook. I'm the CEO of VumaCam. Our vision is really exactly what we're hearing here today, is to say, how do we help create safer, smarter cities? We can't do it ourselves. We just want to be one of those partners that plug onto that ecosystem and assist in that fight against crime. I think that what we already went through is out of our own private sector, we went and saw the vision around technology for the last 5 years. We've learned that cameras into the public space allows you the ability to get that situational awareness to then allocate your resources. And I think it's very aspiring to be here today, where you see partners of ourselves like Blue Hawk and close to the Eyes and Ears initiative. But these are platforms that are building businesses off the foundations that we've set. Today, over 7,300 cameras in the ground working on a daily basis. As we said, reading up to 12 to 14 million number plates every single day, and leading to 28,000 vehicle of interests that are alerted on a daily basis across the province. So these are, we know we've got a big problem. This thing can't be fought in isolation. It has to be done in a collaborative effort, and we just want to be one of those cogs in the wheel that we can offer our support and see where we can play a part. Already, 3,000 poles with over 7,500 cameras live and operational today, and this is working, and really just, it just adds so much value into the ecosystem. So, our primary as technology increases, as there's more fiber, as there's communication, as GPU gets better, it gets to an ability that you can actually pull all of this together and then work. So we're not a security company. We really just work as a platform and work with the private sector, and our partnership with E2 allows us to bring the public and private sector to work in conjunction. How it works: alert comes through a camera, goes into the proof software, which was demonstrated earlier today by Theo, into the private sector, up to 2,500 vehicles into that vicinity, and only the escalated events then call up to the private sector through the E2, to then nominate or alert to Metro or to SAPS to then back up the private security. Your first responder is always going to be private security. They've got a localized presence. They've got a dedicated vehicle. They're going to be there. How do you then make sure that the escalated alerts get to the law enforcement to then back them up, and then fighting in this combination? And that's what the platform allows you to do. It pulls that public and private sectors together. We do have a quick one video. So, how do you do I need audio, yeah.
Some say we live in a paradise, a country with endless beauty, bountiful resources, and endless opportunity and possibility. Some say we are the luckiest in the world. But every day we live with a threat that robs us of our lives, livelihoods, what we work so hard to earn. It stops business in their tracks and robs us of our dream to thrive and live in peace. When crime and criminals make our country their paradise, but we have said, enough is enough. And the heroes that fight crime every day have been given new hope in the ability to use technology to support their fight against the scourge of crime. It's time for us to live and thrive in a place where our right to safety is protected. That is why VumaCam has launched Safe City, an initiative that uses our technology to support private security companies and public law enforcement. Our CCTV network is expanding to new areas. We are increasing the number of cameras watching out over our cities, and our partners have access to our full network. Our support of the E2 initiative will see a new way of dealing with crime, using AI and technology to support our heroes on the ground and in the air to connect, alert, investigate, collaborate, to turn the tide on crime, using smart technology to drive safe outcomes, or where smart means safe. In a country where heroes have the support they need to protect a paradise that we wake up to every day. Safe City.
Thank you very much. And if there are any questions, I'm sure we'll ask on the panel now. Appreciate it.
Okay, General.
Program Director, thank you very much. I am General Mpembe, a retired general from the police. I was a provincial commissioner of Free State. I retired from the police 2016, and I'm currently with Bidvest Protea Coin. Now, Bidvest Protea Coin is a very strong company, especially in terms of providing solutions. It's a company that has been there for 5 decades. Normally, we provide security in terms of risk places, but we also provide security in terms of dangerous areas. We more specialize in terms of any technology that you need. We provide a solution. So you come to us, you tell us what is your problem. I was explaining now earlier outside there to the Premier that in the police, General Mawela might be having 1 helicopter for his province. And I had one when I was the provincial commissioner in the Free State. And when